Emilia Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
I'm Jesper de Jong.
I'm Henry Larsen.
I am Francisco Cerundolo, and you are listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Are you excited as I am for this semi-final for the Halle tournament? It is the king, Nick Kyrgios, against HURKACZ, and HURKACZ is serving first. And I think it was an ace. It was so fast, I couldn't really see in time. But I think you all would agree with me. We're going to see a lot of aces today. Tell me in the chat, what is your prediction for this mouth-watering clash between HURKACZ and Kyrgios? So we started off the day with Medvedev versus Ott, and it seems like Otte, is it Ott or Otte? I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. It started off close. It seemed like Ott had a chance, but then Medvedev just steamrolled when he had those chances, and I guess that's what all the champions do. This match could be very interesting, as we see there a very nice volley at the net by HURKACZ, and it's 30-love. So what's quite interesting here, tell me also, do you think Kyrgios has a chance to take this tournament? What is quite interesting is that I went to check the City Open, the Washington Open that Kyrgios won in 2019. His only 500 title till date. I was checking, and who he faced there was Stefanos Tsitsipas in the semi-final and Medvedev in the final. So it's quite interesting to me that if Kyrgios is able to put out the W today, he will be facing Medvedev in the final again. So that is quite interesting to see as HURKACZ puts that away again for another easy winner, 40-love. Hi, Milan. Nice to have you in the chat. You're saying your prediction is Kyrgios in straight sets. Tell me, Milan, do you think that it's going to be tight like tie breaks, or do you think Kyrgios will be able to break HURKACZ in one of those straight sets? I think however this goes, and whether you're a Kyrgios fan or not, I think we can all agree that this would not be boring. With Kyrgios, it's never going to be boring, as HURKACZ is able to get a game to love in his first service game. All right, so it's quite a predictable start, I would say, given how they both serve so big. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of quick service games from both of them. Hi, Colton. Nice to have you in the chat as well. I'm assuming, I actually thought today about you, like as I was preparing, like he's going to be in the chat, and I wondered whether you're going to be there. But I also wondered, like, I assume you're a Kyrgios fan, being Australian, but maybe that's not correct. So tell me in the chat, are you actually a Kyrgios fan? Are you rooting for him, or doesn't it matter to you, like whether he's Australian or not? Because, like, from my perspective, I didn't really ever support Kevin Anderson, despite him being South African and me South African as well. Hi, Lexi. Nice to have you in the chat as well. Nice to see the regular faces. Uran saying Kyrgios will win if he does not feel tensed. He gets tensed under pressure with top 10 opponents as the expectation grows higher. I agree with you. I think if he just keeps on being nonchalant, I think that's when he is at his most dangerous. And also, I think what's also very important, if he does not win the first set, he shouldn't now decide, okay, it's done, I'm going to just melt down and start arguing with the umpire. Even if he loses the first set, he should just keep focus, and then he can still do well, even if he lost the first set. Milan saying, Kyrgios, let's go with 7-6, 6-4. So one tie break and then one break. He said for Nick Kyrgios. Lexi saying going for Nick in 3, but I hope that he keeps his cool. Yeah, that's the whole thing, right? Especially when it's in 3. The big question is now is, does he win the first one or does he win the second one? Because if he loses the first one, then he can easily just melt down and not really have the will to then grind through the next 2 sets. Hey, Gene, nice to have you in the chat as well. And it seems like you're supporting HURKACZ, which is quite interesting. So personally, I know I probably should be like partial or neutral. I'm going for Kyrgios. I'm a big fan of his game, but I will try to not like make it irritatingly so during the game. Gene saying going for 7-6, 6-4 is the same score, in other words, as Milan has. Tell me, is that then for HURKACZ or is that for Kyrgios? Colton saying, I'm not a fan of KYRGIOS despite being an Australian as a person on the court, but I'm always impressed by some stuff he does. His attitude was really great against Coreno. Yeah, I was also very surprised to see how calm and collected he was during KYRGIOS and focused. So I'm hoping we can see the same today. And I think also everybody, like as I've hinted before as well, like even if you're not a fan of KYRGIOS's antics and you feel like it's like not nice and ethical and those stuff, I think we will all agree that he is entertaining. Right, whether you agree with his antics or not, he is very entertaining to watch. And hi, MJ. See you greeting the other regulars as well. Nice to see you in the chat again. Oh, Gene saying you're a big Hubie HURKACZ fan. That's interesting. Okay, I did not know that. Always been. All right. MJ just saying, just putting a like on this and a quick hi. Thank you very much, MJ. I do appreciate that. For those of you that are joining me in the chat, we'll get to a play-by-play right now as we see HURKACZ also comfortably holding his serve at the moment at 30 love. But if you're enjoying this coverage with me, hit the like button on the video and let's see whether we maybe can achieve 100 likes for this video. Oh, Uran, you're saying first time with you streaming. Hello, the background is very artistic. So actually, thank you very much. It's nice to see you then. I think this is about my 7th time, I think. Oh, I didn't count, but I think more or less fair to guess. Actually, it's just the lighting. So there's no black background. It's the background of my room, but I have a lot of lights before me. So that's why it looks that black in the background. So usually I do stream actually from my office where there's a bit of a different background, but I couldn't get the key from my office in time. So I'm doing it from my room. So it's just black because it's dark in the background, and then I have a lot of lights in front of me. Hi, Gary. Nice to see you in the chat as well. I see many of us are double teaming you with Jabber and Goff. Oh, okay. So I assume then there is a stream, another GTL stream at the same time. I know Megan is streaming a match today. I guess it's then this one, then what seems to be happening at the same time. So if you are following both, say hi to her for me. As HURKACZ is now serving at 40-30. And he serves the forehand of KYRGIOS. Now HURKACZ with a backhand, he goes deep, but it actually goes long, and we're on deuce. And there's a bit of an opportunity now here for KYRGIOS. And as we know, on grass, you do not get a lot of opportunities. Colton saying was also really respectful against Coreno. Yeah, I also actually saw that. There was one, and Coreno, and also vice versa. I felt like Coreno Booster was also very respectful toward KYRGIOS. I saw, for example, in the beginning of the second set, KYRGIOS had a very, very nice drop shot. And Coreno Booster actually applauded that, which was nice to see because I know KYRGIOS had some words about Coreno Booster in the past, saying that it wasn't for clay, then he would have been top 50. I saw something like that on Twitter, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was quite refreshing to see how respectful they both were towards each other. And actually, I felt in the Tsitsipas match as well, as HURKACZ is on advantage here. KYRGIOS hits that long, and it's a hold for a Hubie HURKACZ. So it was quite nice to see also, despite KYRGIOS losing his cool in the Tsitsipas match, it wasn't towards Tsitsipas. So I feel like even though there was a bit of a meltdown, I still feel like both players there in that match had respect for each other, which was also nice to see. I know, for example, the one point where Tsitsipas had a nice backhand down the line winner, to which KYRGIOS said that is just too good. So that was also nice to see. Also, tell me, Chad, what do you make of Tsitsipas's form? Because actually I was thinking about it these past few days, and despite Tsitsipas losing quite early in both warm-up tournaments he's played this far, I'm actually quite impressed with his play. I really feel like he played very well against KYRGIOS despite losing. So I'm quite interested to see what he does next week. Is it in Mallorca, I think, where he's playing? And I actually have Tsitsipas in my top 10. Well, you would think obviously he's a top 10 player, but I've got him like doing fairly well in Wimbledon, despite his bad grass court record, and reason for it being he's not able to slice the ball with his backhand very well. But I actually am quite impressed with how he's played this far in the grass tournaments, despite him not really achieving any performance, or his performance is not really indicating how well he is playing at the moment, in my opinion. Tell me if you agree. Oh, yeah, I see. Sorry, I'm a bit behind in the chat. It always starts like this in the beginning because you have so interesting comments to make in the beginning, and then I'm a bit behind, but I will catch up with the chat in real time. I see MQR, nice to see you again. Also mentioning in the chat, like he wasn't for clay, would be in the top 50. Yeah, so I'm then correct in stating that that's what he said beforehand. Ivan asking who will win. So far we had two predictions. Milan saying that KYRGIOS will win 7-6, 6-4, and then Gene said 7-6, 6-4, but I'm not sure actually for who. I'm predicting, I haven't thought about that yet, actually. I'm thinking Kyrgios would win, actually. I think we're going to see, let's think about it. I'm saying, I'm going for a long one. I'm going to say 7-6, 6-7, 7-6 for Kyrgios. That's what I'm going with. As Kyrgios hits that 4-0 winner and it's 30 love. I think despite 3 sets, I think it will be quite a quick match. Gene saying HURKACZ is great on the grass. Maybe we should consider him as a contender of Wimbledon now. Most definitely. So I'm thinking about my personal power rankings in my head like frequently as we go through these matches. And I'm actually now putting HURKACZ above Felix Auger-Aliassime. Now, I know it's easy to say after he beats Felix Auger-Aliassime and you shouldn't just go on one match. But I've been really impressed. Like when I saw him yesterday against Felix. Felix, I also think played well. In fact, Felix won more points in total in that match, despite losing straight sets. So that's just one of those interesting ways in which tennis works, right? As Kyrgios is now up 40 love, and Kyrgios hits that to the backhand of HURKACZ, who goes for a slice. It goes deep, and it's too deep, though. It's long, and Kyrgios takes that game to love. And we are already now at 2 games apiece in this first set. Yeah, so Gene commenting that HURKACZ is great on grass. I thought Felix would have won yesterday. He served 21 aces and lost in 2 tiebreaks. Yeah, quite unlucky there. So yeah, I would definitely put HURKACZ now in my top 5, I would say. So personally, tell me in the chat, what are your power rankings or your predictions for Wimbledon? Number 1, I would say by far is Djokovic. And then number 2, I would actually put Berrettini. And number 3, Nadal. I know a lot of people would say Nadal at number 2. I'm going for Berrettini at number 2, especially if he's winning queens as well. Then, I mean, it's difficult to argue against him. Then I would go for number 3, Nadal. And then from there, it gets difficult. You could argue for Alcaraz, but it's difficult to assess because firstly, he didn't play any warm-up tournaments. And then secondly, also, we haven't seen him perform on grass at all before. He lost in the first round last year in straights to Medvedev. So, yeah, Alcaraz, HURKACZ, I think definitely HURKACZ is right up there in terms of who could win Wimbledon. MJ saying, you can totally tell that Aman is a professional lecturer. It starts on time. It was close, I must say, because I actually went to my office to try and stream there, and then I saw the key isn't there to enter the office, and then I had to drive back very quickly to my flat. So it was just in time, but luckily I was in time. MQR saying, Carlton, if I was playing a guy who's never won first round at Wimbledon and winning easily, I would do the same. It's harder to keep your coolness when you are losing. Okay, I'm not exactly following this message. I was playing a guy who's never won the first round. I'm not sure who you are referring to here, MKR. If maybe you could elaborate on that message. I think I'm missing something. Arun saying Kyrgios is legit. I don't know how many times we Kyrgios fans say I have to say this until the people understand this. I don't think anybody denies his potential. I think everybody agrees that his potential is immense. But it's just that will to win and also to go far in a Grand Slam. Now, this is also interesting, a question I have for all of you in the chat. You know, like, what are your thoughts on Kyrgios for this Wimbledon? Because last year, right, and I was actually thinking about this today as well as I was prepping for this match, because that's just how professional I am. I mean, what was my thoughts again? So last year he played Wimbledon and he didn't play any warm-up events for Wimbledon. So it was like you don't know what to expect of him. And then he won his first match against Hubert, who actually won Halle, did he? Right? Am I correct in saying Hubert won Halle last year? I think he did. And then he beat Hubert in the first round, which was quite an upset. And then he won his second round as well, contra him against 2. And then he had to play Felix, and he actually won his first set against Felix, and then he had to retire. And I think that was 100% due to Kyrgios just not being fit enough. So I actually think last year he had a chance to go deep in Wimbledon, but his fitness just let him down. So because he didn't play any warm-up tournaments, he just never stood a chance of winning 7 matches in a row. But now he's playing all these warm-up tournaments and doing well. So I'm thinking legitly, he's not just this dark horse in the back of the box, like in your mind. I legitimately think that he should be in the top 10 power rankings to stand a chance to winning Wimbledon this year. Yeah, I really think he does. But tell me in the chat whether you agree with that statement or not. Like you're saying, MJ, yes, I like that Armin starts on time. David and Megan are on time too. Okay. Let's see. But down in the chat, as we see that we are on serve currently. HURKACZ held his serve, and we are on serve at 3-2. As people are arguing in the chat or discussing being on time. Okay, Aaron saying, yeah, I think Chilik will make a deep run as well. I 100% agree with him. I actually forgot about him right now. But Chilik also definitely very, very dangerous player for this year's Wimbledon. Aaron saying Haman does have that lecturer vibes. Not sure how many women. So yeah, I am a lecturer. So Aaron, you say this is the first time you see me streaming. So I am a lecturer, yeah, an accounting lecturer in South Africa. Oh, MJ saying, I'm also skeptical and confirmed on LinkedIn that you are indeed telling the truth. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you're an accountant. I remember you said you're an accountant as well. You said you had to do those tax returns. Tell me, were you able to get them in time? So yes, I am. So I'm glad I could prove you right, like with LinkedIn, that I am indeed an accounting lecturer. So yeah, I don't have any social media except for LinkedIn. So if you guys want to follow, I actually have Twitter as well. I got Twitter like a month ago, but I don't have any followers. So if you want to follow me, holla, do that. But like, because now I watch Twitter like for tennis news and stuff like that, because I don't have anything else. But I don't really post often on Twitter. But I guess if I get followers, I will post more often. But nobody's going to follow me if I don't post first, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, LinkedIn is probably, or basically, the only type of social media I have. I had Facebook, but I decided to delete that. I think it was like a year ago. Milan saying Kyrgios can definitely go far at Wimbledon. He's my dark horse along with Oscar Otte. Yeah, I think like if Kyrgios is not your dark horse, because I know like for GTL, right, when they do the predictions, dark horse, usually the rule for that is anybody that's not seeded. And Kyrgios is definitely not going to be seeded. So I think anybody who doesn't pick Kyrgios, I'm like, then who the hell are you picking? Like Murray? I guess so. It could be a dark horse as well. Yeah, I guess it will be, if it's not Kyrgios or Murray for Wimbledon, then yeah, Otte, I think he will do well. But I think as for like who has that X factor, who can really like challenge the big three, or now the big two who's going to participate, or maybe even just Novak, I think that person would be Kyrgios. But let's see whether he can keep his cool. As Kyrgios is able to hold his game as well, and we are 3 games all in this first set. So nothing really differentiating them on their serves at the moment. MJ saying, when I get bored and not want to work, this is a great channel. Yeah, I actually also love it when you're working and you can't really watch the match, but you want to follow it. So then I often have GTL commentary in the background while I'm working. And then it's just nice to have that background talk in the background while you're working on something else. And also I like it, like when I'm driving, it's also nice to follow the score that way, even though I'm not really commentating on the score as well. But what's interesting for me, I saw a comment then of one of my videos afterwards, which said that they actually like it if I don't like commentate point by point, like back into the forehand to the back into the forehand, because it seems like, and I didn't know that a lot of people, or a lot of you are actually watching the match on television or your stream or whatever, and additional to that, you have your GTL stream on as well, because you just like a tennis discussion going on while you're watching the match. So then when you're actually watching the match live, you don't want a play-by-play of what's happening, because you are watching it as well. You can see what's happening. You rather just want a nice chat between a community of members. And then, yeah, that's also maybe an interesting way to approach GTL streaming. So Ralph saying, what do you think of Dominic Thiem current form? I think it's very sad. I actually saw a discussion was it on Twitter or something, that I don't think he's going to play Wimbledon. I think he's going to go back to challengers and try to get his form back there, which I think is the correct approach there to do. Wrist injury, and HURKACZ serves an ace there, and he gets that, a game to love as he's up 4. Yeah, so as I have a team is going back to challenges to try and get some form back there, and I think that is the right approach. Because, I mean, he doesn't even have a W yet since his return, and I think that's step one. Just get a W. It doesn't matter against who it is. Just get the W on the board at least. I saw also the South African Lloyd Harris. He also underwent a wrist injury this week, and he will be out for the remainder of the year. MJ saying, I have one back tax client. All right. Aaron saying, sorry for making you blush. Well, luckily it's so dark, you can't really see me blushing, can you? Oh, controversy coming up. Maybe controversial, but I'm very glad that the WTA ATP removed points in response to Wimbledon. Yeah, it's a controversial topic, right? So if you want me to talk about that, we can. If you don't want to talk about that, we don't have to. Let's see. Aaron saying top 10 debatable. I think champions are made not only through skills, but also dedication. KYRGIOS has mental health problems, which is openly vocal about recently. Yeah, that's true, right? So therefore, I'm not saying he will get to the top 10. I don't think that's ever going to happen. He doesn't, as you say, he doesn't have the dedication and the will to really put in the effort that is required to consistently play good enough and often enough and practice enough to reach top 10. So I'm not saying he will get to the top 10. Not at all, he won't. I'm saying in a once-off tournament, he must be, for Wimbledon, in the top 10 potential players to win that tournament, because I do think he has it in him to win one tournament. He doesn't have it in him to win like continuously throughout a calendar portion of the year. But for one tournament, and especially on grass, I do think he has it in him to win 7 matches. He didn't have it in him last year because he didn't play in warm-up tournaments, but I think given that he is playing so many warm-up tournaments this year, he does have a chance. As KYRGIOS is in the net and is love 30 for HURKACZ. Can he break through here and then serve for the first set? So KYRGIOS in a bit of trouble here. As KYRGIOS is serving, was that an ace or was that a fault? No, that was a fault. Lexi asking him, I'm on Twitter. I am on Twitter. I'm not sure what my... what do you call it? I'm not sure about the terminology there. Like, but yeah, I am on Twitter. It's Haman S, I think. I'm not sure, to be honest, like how you would find me. But I mean, you can follow me, but I haven't posted anything ever yet. So I don't really see what yeah, I'm not really marketing myself over here, but I don't know whether you get much value out of following me. But if you want to, sure, go for it. Maybe I should post my thoughts, actually. I do comment sometimes, like on GTL stuff, and also John Silk. And I like John Silk, he posts so often. And I often comment on his posts. So you'll maybe see me over there. All right, let's see. As KYRGIOS is now 30 all, so he's trying to get back in this game. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's a very, very big donation, MJ. Now, the thing is, it could have been for Megan. So I'm not going to say thank you. Like, well, thank you anyway. Yeah. So thank you anyway. But yeah, I'm not going to assume it's for me. But thank you very much. All right, let's see. We are finally on, what do you call it? I caught up. I don't know what the correct terminology there is with the chat. So I'm following now live what you are posting over there. As KYRGIOS was able to come up from love 30 and save his game, as we are on 4-all and we get to the business end of this first set. Oh, MJ saying it does go to me. Well, thank you very, very, very much. I really, really appreciate it. Wow, thank you very much. Like, I'm just doing this because I love the sport and it's just fun to hang out with all of you. But thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Also, for those in the chat, if you can give me a like, that would be appreciated a lot. It really helps the GTL algorithm, and subscribe to the channel if you are new for further streams coming your way. Thank you very much, MJ. I really appreciate it. All right, as we are on 15 all in the game, HURKACZ versus KYRGIOS. Let's see whether HURKACZ can hold his serve here. HURKACZ now going big to the backhand of KYRGIOS. It clips the net, but HURKACZ is there. He's going to go for a winner down the line. But KYRGIOS is there and he passes. He passes HURKACZ. That's a brilliant passing shot there by KYRGIOS. HURKACZ went to the net. He went down the line, but KYRGIOS read it like a book and he went for a forehand passing shot next to HURKACZ's backhand. He was not able to get there in time. That's good anticipation there by KYRGIOS as he saw where the ball is going to go. Hit for a passing shot and it's 15-30 and a big opportunity there for Nick KYRGIOS. HURKACZ serving to, that's a fault, second serve. This is a really big opportunity here for KYRGIOS. HURKACZ now serving to the backhand of KYRGIOS. And it's a nice deep return there by KYRGIOS. KYRGIOS with a big forehand winner. That is huge. KYRGIOS is on fire as he hits a big forehand cross-court winner. It's 15-40 and it's 2 break points opportunities for Nick KYRGIOS. Can he capitalize on any of these 2? It started with a very, very good return. Now, what is a good return on a grass? It's any return that goes deep. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be deep. And that's exactly what it was. Very, very nice play there. As HURKACZ is now serving at 40-15. Was that an ace? No, it's a fault. Second serve. Ooh, pressure. It's pressure here. Can Nick KYRGIOS capitalize on the second serve? KYRGIOS serving there to the backhand of Hubie. It clips the net. Hubie's going to get there. And KYRGIOS is now going to try and pass. And he does! He passed Hubie HURKACZ. No? He doesn't. My stream is so pixelated. Sorry about that. He does not pass him. It went wide. It was an opportunity, though. And KYRGIOS was not able to capitalize on that opportunity. It clipped the net. HURKACZ had to run to the net to scoop it upwards. And it was a good opportunity there for KYRGIOS to go for the passing shot. But he pulled that wide with his backhand. But there's another breakpoints opportunity here for Nick KYRGIOS. Breakpoint number 2. Let's see whether he can convert. And they will have to wait for someone who's making a noise. HURKACZ serving to the forehand of KYRGIOS. Is a very good serve. KYRGIOS now with the forehand to the forehand of HURKACZ. It goes to the backhand of KYRGIOS. HURKACZ opting for the slice, and it goes long. It goes long, and it's a break for King KYRGIOS.
When I step out on the court, getting furious. All the people come to see me cause they're curious. You'll be eating up these aces, I'm victorious. Don't be questioning my mind. It's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS.
All right, and he has a break, and we know how valuable a break is on grass court because it's so difficult to break your opponent on the grass. So it will be very difficult for HURKACZ to get back in this set, especially against a bomb server like Nick KYRGIOS. So it's looking very, very good for KYRGIOS. And he only has to keep his cool for 1 game if he's able to serve out this game, which you would guess with his serve and on the grass and Halle especially, which is so fast. I think it's looking very, very good if you're a Nick KYRGIOS fan for this first set. Red Devil, nice to see you in the chat again. Oren saying, let's go, Keys. Keys winning this. HURKACZ does not pose a problem to KYRGIOS. Well, we'll see. Yeah, I've been impressed with KYRGIOS' returning so far. It's deep, and that's the thing with grass. You just want to block it. It can be a slice. It can be very loopy even. As long as it goes very deep, then it's very awkward for the other person because suddenly the point is neutralized on grass. Red Devil saying, Nick is one of my guys, but it has been horrible whenever real pressure is applied. And I think also that's why it will be so valuable for KYRGIOS if he can get this first set, because we've often seen him losing a first set, losing his cool, arguing with the umpire, and then he just doesn't try anymore. I think we've seen that against Murray. I think that's what happened when he lost against Murray in the Boss Open after he lost that first set. But he's looking good here as he goes for a second serve to the backhand of HURKACZ. KYRGIOS now goes for the drop shot, but the drop shot does not go over the net. And it's love 15 for Hubie HURKACZ. Yeah, Milan also excited about Nick KYRGIOS getting that break. Red Devil saying, first time hearing Nick button. Oh, yeah, it's an awesome button. I covered a match of Nick KYRGIOS versus Bashilashvili in the Boss Open And that's also the first time I heard that button, and I like it quite a lot, as I usually do with all the buttons, except Zapata Morales. I think that's an awful button. But yeah, I like that KYRGIOS button, as well as we are on 15 all in this game that could decide the first set. MJ asking, is HURKACZ Polish? Yes, he is Polish. So he's the same country, in other words, as Egon Swantik. I can't pronounce it. I've tried so many times. So Iga, let's just call it Iga. And Radwanska as well. I don't know whether you saw there's going to be like a charity match between Iga Swiatek and Radwanska, which could be interesting. But I mean, Iga's going to wipe her off the court. As KYRGIOS is serving a big ace to the backhand, and he has 2 set points up his sleeve at 40-15. Can he make this quick, not make it complicated, and serve out this first set? As he serves, is that an ace? Nope, it's out. Wide, second serve. Second serve by KYRGIOS to the forehand of HURKACZ, who tries to go for a deep return, but it's long. And KYRGIOS takes the first set of the semi-final of the Halle Open.
When I step out on the court getting furious, all the people come to see me cause they're curious. You'll be eating up these aces, I'm victorious. Don't be questioning my mind, it's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS.
All right, and KYRGIOS takes the first set, and we didn't even need a tiebreak for that one. So if you're a KYRGIOS fan, I think this is a very promising start, as we know that if he doesn't start well, he can have a meltdown. And I think Red Devil saying true that you're referring to that statement I made earlier. And then saying, see a lot with him, like it was the same against the Pelka in Houston. I can't remember. I did watch that match. I did, but I can't remember that match actually quite well. It was on clay, right? And Pelka won then, obviously, because he then won against Isner in the final. But yeah, is that what happened? I can't remember clearly. Did KYRGIOS lose the first set and then just melt down? Yeah, it is what happened, right? I think so. So then at least this is not going to happen in this match. He's in control, so just keep his cool. There's no real reason to get frustrated with anybody as he's winning the match. So let's see whether he can keep his cool. Red Devil saying, yeah, the Zapata button isn't the best, agreed. I think it's only been used once in that match that I did. It was Zapata Morales against, I think, Zverev. It's like very mellow. It's like Zapata Morales. And then it feels like a song that we play like in the background of a spa. So it doesn't really fire you up. So that was the one time the button was used, and I won't be surprised if we don't cover a future match of him in the future again, as I don't see him getting very far in a tournament again. He was very quick, but I mean, like, he's fast on the court, but that's really only the good attribute. It was a poor quality match in essence, really. Him just saying, I have to say Nick KYRGIOS has the best button by far. It is cool, right? Like, if I had to describe it, the word I would give it, like, it's cool. Like, he would like it. I think if KYRGIOS had to listen to that song, he would like, oh yeah, I like that, man. I don't know. But it is quite, it's like, yeah, I like a button that it imagines like a WWE entrance of a player. Like the same, I like Botic van der Zandschulp as well, actually, even though it's just his name. But it's like very metal. It's like Botic van der Zandschulp. And I also feel like if that would work if you had to step in a WWE ring with that song. So yeah, I like it quite a lot. Aaron saying HURKACZ has the game but not the personality. I've seen a lot of people saying that he's too nice. The same with Casper Ruud. Lexi saying, MJ, you have not heard Clara and TFO's. So I haven't heard Clara's one, but TFO, I know it's brilliant. It's so good. I mean, the vocals is just so, I mean, how they were able to get that person to sing on the GTL with that brilliant Grammy quality vocals is just, yeah, brilliant. No editing required whatsoever on that one. Carlton saying Harman with the John Silk pronunciation. Yeah, I know he struggles with it as well. So at least I'm not alone with that one. As HURKACZ is able to hold his first service game quite easily in the first game of the second set. Sorry, asking Medvedev versus KYRGIOS. If he makes it, then who will you cheer for? I will root for KYRGIOS. I'm a big fan of his game. I think he's very, very exciting. And also, if he wins Halle, then it would be very interesting to see what type of confidence it gives him going into Wimbledon. While if Medvedev wins, I'm also a big fan of him. But then it's like, okay, what do you make of that? Because now he won Halle, but he's not going to play Wimbledon. So it's not like you can use that as a, something to bring into the next tournament as some form of confidence or form. So I'm hoping that Nick can win that match and then the whole tournament, and thereby giving him some form of confidence. And then I have to admit, I'm hoping for like a KYRGIOS match against a big player early on. That would be great. I know, obviously, if you're a fan of that player, let's say if you're a Djokovic fan, obviously you don't want him to face KYRGIOS early on, and the same for a Nadal fan. But from a neutral perspective, or a fan of not either of them, not that I don't like them, but I'm not particularly a fan of them, it would be great from a neutral perspective to see a KYRGIOS matchup early on against one of the big players. But I guess a lot of you would disagree with that statement. I'm just saying, Nick sounds like they gave thought to the lyrics. Some of the buttons sound the same. Yeah, I think it fits KYRGIOS' personality quite well, the song. I'm just saying, like, I feel Nick's buttons could have been on commission, whereas the others were done gratis. Yeah, those are very big words for me. I don't know what it means, but I'm gonna agree with you, despite not knowing what you're saying. MQR. So you defend KYRGIOS and say the HURKACZ has no personality. Like what? You drank a mega pint. Well, from an entertainment perspective, right? Like there's a difference between ethics and entertainment. And I know what you mean. Like as KYRGIOS tried to go for a fake smash, but then a drop shot, and then he was there at the net for a nice put away. So from you can say, yeah, he doesn't have a good personality in terms of ethics or being a role model, but from an entertainment perspective, you could be like controversial, but also then entertaining. And you could be like very respectful and like just going about your business, and then also boring from an entertainment perspective. Uran saying, are in RTC Keeks having a meltdown against HURKACZ? I'll be surprised if Keeks has a meltdown against HURKACZ. Yeah, I think if he keeps on leading in the match, there's no real reason to get a meltdown. But if he meets Medi, he might have a meltdown. It would be interesting because it's a final, right? So tell me in the chat. I'm not sure, but I think the only other final he's played in an ATP tournament is the one he won in Washington. Am I correct in saying that? Because it's difficult to me to imagine a player having a meltdown in the final, and then you have that awkward post-match presentation, and then suddenly you're this nice guy. So that'll be odd. I remember it did happen with Grigor Dimitrov once in a match, where he played, I can't remember which country that was, as KYRGIOS tries to do like a saber type of thing, which didn't work, and HURKACZ puts that away for love. So yeah, Dimitrov once had this massive meltdown in a final, and he smashed these rackets like so many times, and then it was quite awkward in the post-match presentation, because then he had to like apologize and stuff like that, which is nice, not nice to see. As KYRGIOS tries to go for the saber again, but he was in no man's land. Massive serve there from HURKACZ, as it takes it with a game to love. All right, let's see what you are saying in the chat. Yeah, Red Devil saying Hubert should do something to put Nick off to get into this. Yeah. Or like the umpire should suddenly decide like KYRGIOS is taking too long on the return, which was very odd to see. I've only seen it twice in my life. The match with KYRGIOS versus Tsitsipas. When I say I've only seen it twice, I mean like where someone is given a warning as the returner for taking too long. It's that, and then the famous one where Federer got a warning against Cilic in the French Open last year. Red Devil saying, can't wait for Wimbledon, by the way. Me neither. It's going to be so exciting. I just always love Wimbledon. So being a Federer fan, it's very sad that he's not playing for the first time ever. So that's very sad, but it's still going to be a very, very fascinating tournament. And then you have that Wimbledon song playing when they start the play of the day. I don't know whether that's the case in all countries, but I know in South Africa on the TV, it's that classic song they play, like, which is just like, it's Wimbledon. And then you sit in front of the TV while it's raining outside, in South Africa at least. And then, yeah, just good memories. Carlton saying, Haman, you asked, am I a Nick fan because I'm Australian? Put it like this, I'll be rooting for Medvedev. All right, duly noted. Lexi saying, yeah, JG's voice is like an angel when he's saying the TFO button. Yeah, really, really, really well done. Like, if he doesn't get a Grammy for that, eventually I'll be quite surprised, and it would be very unfair. Oh, Carlton saying Nick has reached 9 finals and 1 set. Well, my bad. That's very, very, very bad research from my side. Well, or lack of research, rather. But I should have then know that. If I'm like call myself a novice tennis commentator, I should know that. I thought Washington was his only title, but seems like not. Then tell me, Colton, is the other 6 titles he's won? Was that okay? So the Washington one I know about, right? The 500. Are the other 5 then 250 tournaments? Or is there another 500 one which I'm not aware of? Kyrgios saying, I got you, Arman, but if you defend Kyrgios and said the HURKACZ has no personality, then it's contradicted. You can love Kyrgios, but let's be fair. Yeah, I don't think you can say someone has no personality, right? Everybody has a personality. You can say the personality isn't like very flamboyant, but you can't say he has no personality, because having a non-flamboyant or neutral personality is a personality in itself, I guess. And you can't really like blame people for not having a very out there or controversial personality. Obviously, I guess HURKACZ is a very, very nice guy off court, and he seems to be. Like, it was quite interesting to listen yesterday where he talked about like he couldn't read Felix's serve, and then he said like he looked on the shot clock, and then it was like an even number. He would go to a certain side, and if it's an uneven number, you go to the other side, which was quite funny to hear. And that in itself is a type of personality. Red Devil saying he won Estoril. Is that at 250? I'm not sure. Milan asking, doesn't Kyrgios have a Masters final? Cincinnati. I think it is Cincinnati. I think so. Wasn't it against Dimitrov? I think it's against Dimitrov where he made the final. As HURKACZ had a break point there. Sorry for missing that. Or he still has a break point. Kyrgios, 30-40, break point opportunity for HURKACZ. I missed that somehow. Let's see whether HURKACZ can convert. And now Kyrgios is getting frustrated. Unfortunately, I can't hear what he's saying as I have my headphones on for this stream and not the other one. So I can't hear what he's saying. But if you know what he's arguing about, tell me in the chat what is now suddenly making Nick frustrated. Let's see. Breakpoint opportunity here for Hubie HURKACZ. Nick serving an ace. That's just too good. And we're back to deuce. Colton saying he won 3 500s and 3 250s. Okay, my bad. Oh, yeah, I remember Acapulco. Saying Acapulco 501. Yeah, I actually remember that. I forgot about that. So it's Acapulco and Washington, and then what's the other one? Is that Estoril? Is that a 500? Or what is the other 500 he also won? Carlton saying that he has won Washington. Yeah, I remember that one. Acapulco, Brisbane. All right. Somehow I don't remember that. And that's a 500, right? I think Brisbane is a 500. Suddenly I'm very unsure about something that I actually should know. Rishi saying Kyrgios has won Masters 1000. I don't think that's correct. I don't think he has a Masters 1000. He has that one final. And I think, if my memory is correct, he lost against Dimitrov in that final in Cincinnati. As Kyrgios is now once again at advantage, struggling to get through this service game. Oh, Carlton saying Brisbane was a 250. Okay, so what's the other 500 then? So he has Washington, he has Acapulco, and then what's the other 500? Is that Tokyo then? Tell me in the chat. As KYRGIOS is able to hold his serve there at 2 games all. Was a bit of a window of opportunity there for a catch, but to be honest, he wasn't able, or he wasn't in a position to really convert that. It was just a massive ace there by KYRGIOS. So nothing really done wrong there by HURKACZ in not being able to convert that break point. Milan asking, isn't Tokyo a 500? And Sorav also saying Japan. Okay, so then Tokyo is the other 500. Yeah, Colton confirming that Tokyo is a 500. Okay. I learned something today. So he has Washington, and he has Tokyo, and he has, what's the other one? Acapulco. So tell me in the chat, if he is able to win this tournament, Halle is a 500, right? That I know. A round of applause for me for knowing that. Thank you very much. If he's able to win this tournament, would you say that this is then his best one thus far, like the biggest achievement? I would say yes, for several reasons. Firstly, he has then beaten Tsitsipas and Medvedev in winning that. Now, the thing is, actually, in Washington, he also beat Tsitsipas. He beat Tsitsipas in the semifinal and Medvedev in the final. So tell me in the chat, which tournament you think would be the biggest achievement of KYRGIOS' career if he's able to win Halle? Personally, I feel like Halle is a bigger tournament, because usually you have a big playing field playing there, because it's like one of the 2 warm-up tournaments for Wimbledon. And especially this year, the field is very, very strong. And I think it's because of the Russian players playing Halle, as they can't play Queens. Yeah, sure, there wasn't like a Djokovic or a Nadal, but I don't think they were in the other titles he won either. Or were they? Tell me in the chat if I'm incorrect. Colton's saying, I'm actually from Brisbane, that tournament doesn't exist anymore. Oh, is that because of the ATP Cup being now during that time, I assume? I wasn't actually aware that Brisbane doesn't exist anymore, but it makes sense to me if you say that, because ATP Cup is the same time, right? I just remember Brisbane so well with Federer winning his 1000th match there against, I think it was against Raonic in the final. Saurav now commenting on his best match. Yeah, so his best match was against Roger Indian Wells. I remember that match very well. I assume you mean 2017, right? I remember that match very well. And he should have won that match, to be honest. Like, I remember someone in the crowd made a noise during one of the points in the tiebreak, and then he was very upset about that. That was a very, very, very good match. So you're saying that was his best performance. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, I'm wondering, like, what would be his biggest achievement in terms of the title? If he's able to win this title, what title would be the biggest achievement on his resume? Yeah, Carlton also saying that must be 2017 in Indian Wells. I remember that match quite well. I think it was like a 3rd set tiebreak, which could have gone anyway. And yeah, Roger easily could have lost that match. And as you know, in the end, he won the Sunshine Double. He beat, who did he beat in the final of Indian Wells? Was it Rafa? Or did he beat Rafa in the Miami final? I think he beat Rafa in the Miami final. And then in Indian Wells final, he beat... I can't remember. No, I can't remember, but tell me in the chat if you know. I can probably Google it, but that spoils the fun. Colton saying that I'd say that this would be his biggest title if he wins. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, I mean, noted, I didn't know about his other titles except for Washington. So my opinion shouldn't really be regarded like very valuable at this stage. But yeah, I think this will be a massive achievement. And it will also give him a big boost before Wimbledon. Oh, Red Devil commenting that Ons Jabeur got the W over Coco 7-5-6-2. Okay, that's quite comfortable. Interesting to note that. As KYRGIOS goes for the drop shot, and HURKACZ is not able to get there 15 love. Acapulco, he defeated Nadal, Stan, and Zverev. Oh, that's very impressive. I remember that Nadal victory. And I think it's that match afterwards when Nadal said that he felt like the underarm serve is disrespectful, which I completely disagree with. But yeah, I remember that match. Like I said, that's quite an achievement to beat Nadal, Wawrinka, and Zverev. And that's when Wawrinka was actually like its prime Wawrinka. So yeah, that is quite impressive. So it's difficult to then like, well, how do you rank or rate a achievement of a title? Is it based on who you won? Is it based on the context of like where you came from? Is it based on like what it means in perspective of the calendar year? Because like I think what would make Halle such a big achievement is that it's the warm-up tournament for Wimbledon. So winning this could have a large impact on how he performs in Wimbledon positively. So that's why I would rate this victory so high if he's able to get the W. But I mean, if you say he beat Nadal, Wawrinka, and Zverev in the same tournament, that is very, very impressive. And John Milan also confirming that he beat Wawrinka in that year. And yeah, you're saying he doesn't have grass title yet. That is true. And then we have a big ace there by KYRGIOS. And oh no, sorry, that was long. So it's second serve by KYRGIOS. Says a big ace. And he's up the game. And we are at 3 games all in the second set. 12 Trail 21, nice to see you in the chat again, saying Acapulco was his biggest title, more talent on hardcourt than grass, so it's a bigger achievement. Yeah, so saying that he beat Nadal, Zverev, and Wawrinka, I might have to agree with you maybe on that one. But yeah, it's difficult to say because I also feel like this would be such a big achievement in the context of Halle being a warm-up for Wimbledon. But I guess so that's the thing, right? If he now like loses in the first round of Wimbledon, then it almost like diminishes his performance in Halle. While if he's able to, like, let's say, get to the semis of Wimbledon, or dare we say win it, then we would maybe regard Halle in retrospect as a bigger win in the sense that it was then the stepping stone to the Grand Slam. But I shouldn't get ahead of myself, should I? And also you might argue, no, Haman, you can't argue like that. You should see the tournament in isolation. But it's up for debate, I guess. MJ keeping us updated with his meal that he's making. 12 Travels 21 saying, I'll be shocked if you don't see at least one tiebreak today. Yeah, so I went for 3 sets, all 3 being tiebreaks. And the first one, I was quite surprised to see KYRGIOS being able to break HURKACZ there and serve it out for the first set. As KYRGIOS is in a bit of a trouble once again, as he was in the previous game as well, at love 30. Colton asking, how much did you know if he makes the final, he's seeded at Wimbledon? No, I did not know that. Really? Is that true? That's very interesting. Okay, if he makes the final, not even like just win it, if he makes the final, that is very interesting. And I guess then you might argue that if you're a Nadal or Djokovic fan, you then actually might be rooting for KYRGIOS here, even if you don't like him generally. Let's see, yeah, HURKACZ now going to the backhand of the KYRGIOS forehand, and that's a weak forehand there by KYRGIOS. Oh, and sorry about that. I was wrong at who was serving. I said love 30, KYRGIOS in trouble, but it's actually on HURKACZ's serve. Sorry, I completely got that wrong. So it's actually KYRGIOS making inbounds here against the serve of HURKACZ, not the other way around. As HURKACZ is now serving at 15-30 on his serve. It's a fault second serve. Yeah, so that's very interesting. So I guess if you're a Nadal or a Djokovic fan, you'll be hoping that KYRGIOS makes the final, because then it's less likely that Nadal or Djokovic would face KYRGIOS in a very, very early round. While if KYRGIOS is not seeded at Wimbledon, then there's a bigger chance of Djokovic or Nadal getting KYRGIOS very early on in the tournament. But yeah, that's very interesting, Colton. Thank you for that statistic. King Adjust, nice to have you in the chat. Once again, for those of you that are joining me on, for those of you maybe coming from the other stream of Megan, welcome to the stream as we are watching a very entertainment match as HURKACZ is going to the net for the volley. And KYRGIOS applauds that, which is nice to see, which means that he is in a good mindset. If you are joining me right now, thank you very much, and consider hitting a like button on this video. Let's see how many likes we can get on this video. So Ralph saying that if he wins Halle, then this will be his biggest because of the fact that he came through the struggles and was more comfortable in playing the game. I think it's a good debate. Like if you go against like who he was facing, then you can't really argue against it being Acapulco, but then you could argue other way around if you think about the context. But that's up for debate, as HURKACZ was in the end able to hold his serve and is up 4-3 in the second set. Okay. Wouldn't say that's my favorite button. Interesting, but nevertheless. King just asking, is the Miami Open final HURKACZ's biggest title? Ouch. Well, as I hope not. Like, I hope HURKACZ isn't like that player where the immediate, like, because when I think HURKACZ, immediately I think about his win against Federer in Wimbledon. And I think it's sad if the legacy that you leave as a player is like that one match that you won. They will be sad. So I'm hoping for HURKACZ's sake that the memory that we have of him is more something like that indicates a longevity skill, like winning a title. I hope for his case, he's not like, oh yeah, it's the player that beat Wimbledon that year. I remember him. That would be sad because we have a lot of them. Player where you remember him by a victory they had against someone in a big tournament. And I don't think you really want to have that legacy, especially if it wasn't injured Roger. $12 travel, 21. Djokovic is odds on with the bookies, but would you take Djokovic against the field if his draw was round 1, Kyrgios, round 2, Murray, round 3, Vesely, Cilic, FAA, Berrettini, and Rafa? That's very interesting because that can happen, right? That's like completely possible. Well, yeah, that is interesting. So yeah, the draw could be very, very influential, I think, on the odds going forward. And then if he faces, like, it could be then the total opposite, especially on Wimbledon, right? You could have like a Casper Ruud in the semi-final. Quarterfinal, you're like against a Carreno Booster, you know, like these players who are ranked high, but they are like terrible on grass. So as you say, it could happen where you face people that are very dangerous and ranked low. It could also happen where you face players that are ranked high, but they are not really dangerous. But yeah, that is a very, very interesting comment there. And yeah, you provided us there with a like possible draw, which would just be absolute hell. Milan saying, I think I'll never warm up to that Hubie button. Yeah, I won't say it's my favorite. Kyrgios comfortably up 30 love with his first service game. 3-4 as he serves a big ace to the backhand T side of HURKACZ, and it's 40 love. Too easy, and it's 216 kilometers per hour. Nothing you can do against that. Once again, I'm so embarrassed. He did win Miami. I forgot about that. Sorry about that. I'm just horrible today, aren't I? Like, I forgot that he won Miami, and I also didn't know that Kyrgios has like 6 titles. Thank you for that. Embarrassing. King just saying HURKACZ has won Miami Open and Nadal hasn't. I was shocked when I found out Nadal has never won Miami. That is interesting. I didn't know that either. Interesting that it hasn't won Miami. Given that like it's not a fast court, as HURKACZ hits that long on the first point of his service game, love 15. Like Miami is not a fast court, so it is surprising that Nadal hasn't won there yet. Victor saying Cilic is a legend, may win Wimbledon. Yeah, he may. I think he can be really dangerous there. Tell me, what is happening in Queens at the moment? I know it was raining at some stage in the Berrettini match. Tell me in the chat what is currently happening there. Is it still raining or are they actually playing? As HURKACZ goes for a winner on his serve, 15 all. King of Just saying, I hope Nadal faces Dustin Brown. I don't think Dustin Brown is playing. But yeah, that was just insane. Eh? Did you all see that match? Like, it was not that shocking to me that Nadal lost that match against Dustin Brown at Wimbledon, because I was, and I assume for those of you in the chat, as you are also big tennis fans, we then saw that match where we actually lost against Dustin Brown in Halle a year before that. And that was just insane, right? It was in the first round match. And Dustin Brown destroyed him. I didn't think it will happen again, because it's a 5-setter and Nadal would be more focused. Will Dustin Brown be able to get like the best out of 5? So I didn't think Dustin Brown would win, but I wasn't that shocked, because as I knew that it already happened before in Halle, nevertheless. But yeah, that was just insane to see Dustin Brown giving those performances in Wimbledon. But I don't think he's playing. Isn't he retired? Tell me in the chat, like, is Dustin Brown retired or not? As HURKACZ is able to hold his serve there, and we get to 5-4. Can you just noting that Nadal has never won the ATP finals ever? Ooh, trigger alert for the Nadal fans in the chat. Oh, Colton saying Chilik lost the first set. All right. Interesting. Mathieu won his match. All right. So Mathieu in the final once again. Like, what a grass course season. And not season, but a seasons he's had the past 2 years, right? It's insane. Oh, Milan saying Dustin Brown has won a challenger in doubles recently. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I think like Dustin Brown, it could be such a, like, yeah, he can beat anybody, I think, on grass, because like it's literally every point serve and volley, right? Like, there's nothing else. It's just serve and volley, and it's either going to work or it's not going to work. But it was also interesting to see how well Dustin Brown was able to return on the serves of Nadal. Like, he smacked him like squash. And also like this nothing to lose attitude, which was quite refreshing to see, if you're not a Nadal fan at least. As they're showing the other grounds in the Halle tournament. Yeah, I must say, like, Halle, I like the tournament, and I think the draw in the Halle tournament is much more exciting than Queens, especially this year. But I think personally, Queens, the grounds are just aesthetically more beautiful than Halle, especially like with the roof on Halle. You get these shades over the ground, and it's like you don't have this typical like grass court majesticness like Wimbledon that you have. Or you don't have that in Queens, but I think you do that. You don't have that in Halle, but you do have that in Queens. As KYRGIOS is approaching the net, HURKACZ now going for the lob, which is successful. KYRGIOS going for a tweener, and it does go over the net, but KYRGIOS is really there at the... Oh no, KYRGIOS is injured. KYRGIOS is injured. Let's see whether he stands up. Is he able to stand up? This does not look good. This does not look good. KYRGIOS is on the ground and he's not standing up. I can't hear what they are saying. I'm quickly going to put my... Oh, no, but I don't have commentary on the stream anyway. Is he going to be fine? KYRGIOS is not standing up. It's not like Zverev level of injury, but he's standing. Okay, KYRGIOS is standing up. Let's see here the replay, what happened here. KYRGIOS was at the net, and then he went back for the tweener, and then he slipped. He slipped there at the back of the court. Now, is he standing up slowly just to be careful, or did he actually injure himself? Oof. Yeah, it doesn't look that bad, but also I'm not like a doctor. Okay, KYRGIOS is serving. Let's see whether it influenced his movement. He is limping a little bit. Oof. That will be such an unfortunate event. Let's see. He's serving a fault, second serve, and also we'll also now see, like, if he just goes for aces, then it means like he doesn't want to move. He only serves a big second serve. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be fine. Tell me in the chat if you agree, if you're watching this on TV as well. I think KYRGIOS is going to be fine injury-wise, but this was quite a scare. Colton noting that Federer and Novak never won the Olympics. I assume as a response to Nadal never won in Miami. But I mean, come on, it's not the same because I mean, Miami isn't only once every 4 years. Okay, 12 Travel 21 saying Nadal hasn't played Miami since 2017. Too close to clay season. Interesting. Yeah, in my opinion, like, I don't know. I think it's like maybe a very fair defense because, yeah, it's not. It's then like yeah, I don't know. Because he decides to not play it in order to have a bigger chance on clay. But then you haven't won it, not because of reasons out of your control, right? Kyrgios serving at 40-15. Carlton saying that Kokonakis is playing Wimbledon doubles with Nick. Interesting. Tell me, if you're a Kyrgios fan, how do you feel about that? Because I'm scared that if he's playing doubles, that he might not then have the stamina to win Wimbledon. Now, you might be saying, well, he doesn't stand a chance to win Wimbledon anyway. And maybe that's a correct statement. But I feel like I'm just scared that stamina-wise, it would mean that he's going to then like get to the fourth round and then just retire because he's just playing too much tennis. 5-all in the second set as we get to the business end of this second and possibly deciding set. Let's see. Kyrgios now with a big forehand to the forehand of HURKACZ. He tries to slice it, but he slices it in the net, and it's love 15. Opportunity here for Kyrgios. 12 Travel 21 saying Kyrgios will be fine as long as he wins set 2. If he loses set 2, then he'll start complaining about the court condition, making him fall and lose focus. I think that's a big possibility, yeah. As HURKACZ is serving a big ace there down the tee, 15-all. Yeah, so Ras saying he's fine. Yeah, I think I was quite like, it was a scare to see Kyrgios not standing up. But I think it looks like he will be fine for this match at least. Kyrgios now with a good, I wanted to say good return, and it was a good return, but it went long. The return is 30-15. Milan commenting that Nadal says has only one indoor hardcore title. Yeah, so I don't want to get like in too big of a fight here in the chat about like whether Nadal is versatile or not. It is interesting to note that Nadal hasn't beaten Federer on a non-clay surface since January 2014. And he also hasn't beaten Djokovic on a non-clay surface since 2016, which is quite an 2013, sorry. So it's like almost like 10 years that he hasn't beaten them on a non-clay surface. So it's an interesting stat to take into consideration if you get, like, for example, a Nadal and Djokovic matchup in Wimbledon. That being said, though, it's not like it was whitewashing all the way. Like, we know that one semi-final there in Wimbledon was like a few years back. I think it was 2018, a semi-final between Nadal and Djokovic, and that was just brilliant. It was such a good match, and Nadal could have won that match. It was so tight. And I think also what like made it so good is the contrast of that semi-final versus the other one, which was like, was it Isner against Anderson, right? I think so. And that was just so poor. And it was very long, but it was just like not quality tennis. It was just ace, 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 ace. And then in contrast, we had that Djokovic and Nadal match, which was just a lot of talent there on display. And then Djokovic edged it in the end. Kyrgios went for a backhand there, which went wide, and HURKACZ was able to wholly serve and is one game away from taking the second set. So Kyrgios will try to force this to a tiebreak, and I think as 12-21, I think it's you that said like you expect at least one tiebreak in this match. So let's see whether he can force it to a tiebreak in this upcoming game. Okay, we have a bit of a Rafa debate here. Rafa hasn't beaten Djokovic off clay since 2013. Yes. Hasn't beaten Henman off clay since 2006. Well, that's not the same. I mean, because he has faced Djokovic a lot since 2013. So he had opportunities. So it's not the same as saying Henman since 2006 because he didn't have opportunities to beat him since 2006, but he had opportunities to beat Djokovic since 2006 or 13. All right, let's see. Kyrgios serving 15 all. Kyrgios serving big to the backhand of HURKACZ, who is not able to get that ball back over the net, and it's 30-15. King Adjust asking who is my favorite of the big three. So I'm a big Federer fan, but I still respect the other two players a lot for like what they brought to the game and also their talent. With regards to the GOAT debate, despite being a Federer fan, I believe that Djokovic is the GOAT at this stage. I know a lot of people will say Nadal because he has the higher Grand Slam tally. I think it's not that simple, just looking at the quantity. So I don't know whether we want to get into the GOAT debate and reasons for it as such, but Djokovic for me is the GOAT. But I'm a big Federer fan. Like every year on his birthday, the 8th of August, I make a cake. I bake a cake for him with his logo on. So I'm a very big Federer fan. I went to Shanghai in 2017 to go and watch him play, which he then won, which was quite cool to see. As Kyrgios is serving at 40-30, can he force it to a tiebreak? It's fault, second serve. He serves at 40-30, second serve, and HURKACZ is able to get that back. It's a big forehand, HURKACZ doing the running. Kyrgios now with a big forehand to the forehand of HURKACZ, who's just popping the ball back. Now we have a backhand slice by HURKACZ, which goes long, and it's game. And we're going to a tie break in this second set. All right, tell me in the chat down below, what is your prediction for this tiebreak in the second set? Alex, I see Colton did answer your question. If you win set 2, that's game right. I'm new to tennis. Well, it's just always so refreshing to see new people getting introduced to the game that we all love so much, tennis. So welcome to tennis. I hope that you enjoy the remainder of this match. So yeah, this is a tiebreak. And if he wins this, it's then the match to Kyrgios, as it's a best out of 3. So if he wins this set, then he won 2 sets. So then even if then they stop because he won 2 out of the possible 3. So then he wins. But yeah, welcome to tennis. I hope you enjoy this. And make sure if you're new to the channel to subscribe to get further coverage of Wimbledon, which I think you will enjoy a lot. And also the final tomorrow of Halle. As Kyrgios is now serving. And it's a mini break. It's a mini break for HURKACZ, which could be very valuable in the second set tiebreak. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry, I completely misread that point. Oh, so sorry, the HURKACZ point went long. So it's 1-1, still on serve. Kyrgios now serving at 1-1 in this tiebreak. And it says big to the backhand of HURKACZ. Kyrgios now tries to go for a backhand, which always looks so awkward. And it's a backhand in the net. So now it is a mini break for HURKACZ. And he's up 2-1 in the second set tiebreak. Yeah, 12-3-1 commenting on Ryan Penton's and the wild card in Queens. If he keeps progressing, do you think he could eventually become the new James Ward? So I must admit, I haven't seen him play myself. So in the chat, if you've seen him, what do you guys think? I feel like for me, I should be wary of making comments of something I'm not very knowledgeable of. And as I have not seen him play, I don't really want to give any opinions on that. But tell me, 12-21, what do you think, like, on his prospects? 12-21 saying Kyrgios will take this 7-5. Milan going for a 7-4. Nick and King Adjust saying 7-5 to HURKACZ. All right, it's looking like it could go their way as HURKACZ is now ahead 3-1 in the second set tiebreak as he's serving to the backhand of Kyrgios, who is able to return that on the line, but HURKACZ will eat that away for an easy winner. And it's 4-1 for HURKACZ in the second set tiebreak. Victor saying, actually, Kyrgios brought me back to tennis and Sakura. Yeah, KYRGIOS is very, very entertaining indeed. Alex saying, yeah, I'm new to tennis. It's way harder than it looks. That is so true. Like, I've been playing lately and people think it's so easy. That is so true, right? Because you see on TV how they hit the ball so hard. And when I try to hit the ball as hard as these players do, and KYRGIOS is getting frustrated there as he hits the ball outside of the stadium, and it's 5-1 to HURKACZ as he's able to get another mini break. And it's 5-1 for HURKACZ, and it seems like he's going to take the second set tiebreak very comfortably. And let's just take, keep a look on KYRGIOS' attitude. Is he going to have a meltdown? We've now seen him hit the ball into the crowd, which is not a good sign in terms of his train of thought. Let's see how his attitude progresses throughout this set and this match. Yeah, so when I try to hit the ball as hard as these players do, and the reason they are able to hit it so hard but still inside the court is they generate so much topspin. So when I try to hit the ball as hard as they do, that ball goes like so like out of the whole tennis, not just the court, but the whole what do you call it? Like the basically out of town. Yeah, Colton asking, are you watching this for a particular player? And Alex commenting on the Discord where they have him as a player. As HURKACZ is now serving at 5-2 in this second set tiebreak. And HURKACZ serves an ace. That's just too big. And HURKACZ is up 6-2, and he has several set points up his sleeve on this second set. Yeah, MQR saying the clown show begins. Let's see how KYRGIOS reacts if he loses this first set. And KYRGIOS doesn't even try to return that. And it's an ace by HURKACZ, and he takes the second set in the tiebreak. And we are at one set apiece in the semifinal of this Halle tournament. One set up for UB HURKACZ. All right, let's see what this means for the remainder of the match. Do you think Nick KYRGIOS will be able to hold his cool and then just focus for the set and maybe try to do something out of it? Or do you think that KYRGIOS is just going to lose his cool, not even bother to try in this third set? I really hope it's not the latter, but let's see what happens. Yeah, Colton saying KYRGIOS abusing them balls. Milan saying, can relate, Arman. I've lost, I count of how many balls I've lost in a cornfield behind the local tennis court. Yeah, because you go for that massive winner, and then it's just like 6 runs if you can relate to tennis. Alex asking, damn, what do you think? Is KYRGIOS going to come back? My prediction is that KYRGIOS is going to come back. I think, yeah, we've seen him lose his cool now a little bit in the sense that he smashed the ball into the crowd, but is that a meltdown? I wouldn't say that's a meltdown. I would just say that he's frustrated a little bit, but I wouldn't regard that as a meltdown yet. So I still think that KYRGIOS will be able to hopefully, maybe that's just what I'm hoping for, but I do think he is going to keep his composure, and especially if he's able just to hold his first serve in this start of this third set, then he can recompose himself. King of Just saying HURKACZ is a big server with a good solid game. Yeah, very, very solid. I was very impressed with this game yesterday against Felix Auger-Aliassime. Yeah, Colton saying there's also still definitely in this. I agree. 21 saying 4-6-7-6 in just 1 hour 15. Lots of quick points. How many rallies above 4 shots? Good question. I don't know. Maybe they will say, yeah. If I try to scroll, I can't scroll. Yeah, so I can't see that. But that's a good question, yeah. And yeah, that's the thing. Despite it being 4-6-7-6, it's just 1 hour and 15 minutes. I mean, if you have a rougher match on clay, 1 hour and 15 minutes, then you're probably sitting at 3-all in the first set. Hey, Sam, nice to have you in the chat as well. Look at the ace count. You have 14 aces for HURKACZ, 21 aces for KYRGIOS. So a lot of quick points there. Yeah, Milan agreeing. I think Kyrgios can still take this if he calms down, and I really hope he does. How dare I come for Rafa? Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's always controversial to touch on those topics. So I'm not coming for Rafa. I was just, let's say, facilitating some points that were brought up in the chat. Let's call it that. But I mean, I'm not a big fan in the sense that he's not like my player that I follow. I'm a Federer fan, but I'm still a fan of Rafa's play. Like, I don't think he's like, I still enjoy watching him play, and I still respect his achievements a lot. Oh, you're joking. Well, you never know, because the people are so like, sensitive towards these topics, and I can understand that. Like, like it's passion. So I can understand that. But yeah, it's always like, oh, should I now address this comment or not? Because people might like, But yeah. I'm glad you didn't interpret it as an attack on Rafa. I respect all three of the big three very much. Arun saying Nick is going to come back for sure. I hope so. You know what it is? One set apiece. I'm just going to take a 30-second break here. I'm going to play something. The reason being that I went for a knee operation a week ago. So I just want to stand a bit to just give it some, movement, because I'm currently just sitting and I need to get my knee moving. So just give me 30 seconds so I can just move my knee a little bit. And while I do that, I'm just going to play a little bit of a trailer here.
What are you drinking?
Yeah, what
is that? Oh, coconut. Nice.
I thought it was like a pina colada or something. I want Karatsev to do well.
Can Medvedev win it? I think so. The winner, for me, Naomi Osaka. I think she's going to start the year with a bang. And then the Aslan breaks.
Well,
Alex can't believe it. Oh my God. Djokovic into his 9th Australian Open final. It's gone for the lob. He's got a smash.
He's got it. Djokovic.
18 Grand Slams from Novak Djokovic.
He wins his 9th Australian Open title. Down the line. Look at that. That is
you can't write this stuff.
Novak Djokovic has set a new world record. The return of Roger Federer.
Return of Roger Federer. Yeah, I was going to say that again, probably in Laver Cup, which is going to be interesting. I hope GTL will cover it. I'm sure they will. Kyrgios serving, and he's a bit of trouble here already. Love 15 in the third set of this semi-final. A good return there by HURKACZ. Kyrgios now with a big forehand, but it's not really side to side. It's very much in the middle. Kyrgios goes for a drop shot and is successful, and now HURKACZ slid. HURKACZ sliding on that side of the court, and I think it's the same side. It's difficult to say because I don't know whether they switched the camera angle, and I don't think they do. I think it's the same place, exactly the same place where Kyrgios was slipping. He seems to be okay. So Kyrgios went for the drop shot, and like HURKACZ tried to get there, and then he slid there at the back of the court. Let's see the yard. This was a bad slip. Luckily, he was able to like fall correctly, if that is the way to state it. And it's nice to see Kyrgios asking whether he's okay. It seems like he is. 15 all, and it's a big ace there by Nick to the tee, and it's 30-15. Sam, man, I knew you were a Fed fan, but I love Fed too. Fedal. Yeah, it was just great to see their like friendship again when they had the charity match in South Africa. As we have a good passage of play there, HURKACZ, but it went just long, and it's 40-15. Sam saying, get well soon. Thank you very much. Yeah, so it's quite a minor knee operation I had. So I'm actually hoping that I can get back to like jogging in 6 weeks. And they said tennis actually in 8 weeks, if, and that's only if I do my physiotherapy exercises as they instructed me to do, which I don't always do. I should do it like 3 times a day, which is quite a lot. So maybe it will take me a bit longer to get back to the tennis court. As Kyrgios is able to hold his serve in the third set, hopefully from a Kyrgios perspective and a neutral perspective, I would say it means that he's not losing his cool. And he's up first game in this third and deciding set.
When I step out on the court getting furious, all the people come to see me cause they're curious. You'll be eating up these aces, I'm victorious. Don't be questioning my mind, it's King Kyrgios. It's King Kyrgios. It's King Kyrgios.
right, as Aaron saying, Nick is going to keep his calm in grass court tournaments. Yeah, I also think it's more probable in a tournament like this that it will keep his cool, as also he has this big opportunity now to get to the final of this tournament. So hopefully he knows, like, I should not throw this away. This is actually a very big opportunity to have at the moment. MJ saying now, this is a match. Yeah, this could now go anyway. And especially like a third set tiebreak is always so like stressful because anything can happen. MJ asking, do I like running? I do, but the thing is, I had this knee problem now for like quite a while, so I haven't like jogged in a while, but it would be quite nice to jog. Like I live here in Stellenbosch in South Africa, so it's quite pretty outside, like the mountain, and so then it's quite nice to jog out there. So I'm looking forward to actually jogging again. Last year I was more like in the gym for like weight training and stuff, so then I didn't do a lot of cardio as I was trying to gain weight. But I wouldn't be able to get back to the gym soon because I also have a heart problem now starting last year. Just endless list of problems. So the heart problem isn't fixed yet, so I can't really do weight training at this moment. Hopefully someday again. As HURKACZ is now heading to the backhand of KYRGIOS. And KYRGIOS is now doing the fence. And he tries to go down the line with his forehand, but it goes wide. It's 30-15 for HURKACZ. King Adjust say, I like Federer as much as Djokovic, honestly. Colton, if Jabeur wins the final, she becomes world number 3. But if she loses, she will drop to 5. That is interesting. MJ saying he did a marathon ages ago in New York, trying to do a second one. All right, that's very, very impressive. Yeah, I must say, that is not something on my bucket list. Doing a marathon, that's very impressive. Sean, nice to see you again. Haman with new knees is going to be unstoppable. No, I'm not. I'm horrible in tennis. Like, I'm really, really bad. So no, I can have the best knees in the world. I'll still suck. I just like, I don't. I want to say like, what is my weakness? But it's just basically everything. I have a nice lob, I must say. I have a very good lob, I would say. Like, if people come to the nets, I'm able to like get quite a nice lob, rather than trying to go with the passing shot. But that's about it. As HURKACZ was able to hold his game, and it's 1 game apiece in the third and final deciding set. Arun saying Wimbledon with KYRGIOS is going to be interesting. Yeah, definitely agree. You can go a long way this time around. Yeah, and it would have been interesting from a neutral perspective if he had like a Nadal or a Djokovic match like early on in the tournament. But as Colton stated earlier, if he gets to the final in this tournament, oh, that's a lovely slice down the line by HURKACZ, but I think it just went wide. It did. It just went wide, and it's points to KYRGIOS, 15-love. So if KYRGIOS is able to get the W today, then you will be seeded for Wimbledon, which means that he will not face a Djokovic or a Nadal early on in Wimbledon if Nadal plays. But from a KYRGIOS perspective, he would hope to be seeded because then he can have like a relaxing start to the tournament. Someone was saying in the chat, I can't remember who, that he is going to play doubles as well, which I'm not too fond of, to be honest, because I think like if he wants to win, he should have the stamina to go for 7 matches, which I don't think is that easy to do if he's going to play doubles as well. I mean, we saw last year with him withdrawing against Felix, and I think it was just because he wasn't able to, stamina-wise, go on for that long. Top 12, travel 21. Haman sounds like the Delpo with all those injuries. Didn't realize Tevin's commentary was such a dangerous pastime. No, those injuries started before I joined as a guest here on GTL. Very dangerous to commentate, right? No, so the knee happened, I think, due to box jumping I did in the gym. I think that's what caused the knee injury. It was not like sudden, like, lying on the ground and now I'm injured. It was more like started getting knee pain along the way. So, and then with regards to the heart, just had some like cold, and then it led to some chest pain, and I went to the ER and there were some irregularities, but I'm coping. But I should just be careful if I now exercise. I can't put my heart rate above 150, which is quite difficult to do if you play tennis, for example. It's difficult to keep it below 150. MJ, you've been cooking now for like 2 hours. So tell me that your meal is almost done. All right, we are at deuce here. Kyrgios serving 1 game apiece to use as he's serving a fault second serve. And he serves a double fault. And it's breakpoint opportunity for HURKACZ. Ooh. Let's see. Kyrgios serving breakpoint. And it's a good serve, but HURKACZ is able to get that back and deep. Oh, I think Kyrgios is going to be in trouble here. Oh, but HURKACZ is that Watchalong. I feel that was such a big opportunity for HURKACZ because he's able to get the serve back, and not only back, but very deep, and it neutralized the rally completely. But then, unfortunately, HURKACZ hit that next ball long, and it's back to deuce for Kyrgios. It's a fault on his first serve, and it's second serve here on Kyrgios at deuce. It says the backhand of HURKACZ is able to get the ball back. It's a big forehand, and it's a great forehand. Good angle there by Kyrgios with his wrist action. And he has advantage as his player box consisting of 3 people applauds him for that. Now, that was a good forehand. It was a good angle cross-court he got that with that shot. Kyrgios serving at advantage, and it's going to be returned by Kyrgios, but Nick is at the net. Oh, it's not returned. And what happens there? Are they arguing? Yeah, they are arguing. It seems like Kyrgios will have to serve again. I'm not sure whether it's because it was a fault or whether this is a first serve again. Kyrgios serving to the backhand of HURKACZ. Now we have a backhand exchange by these 2 players. But it seems like HURKACZ's ball was long, and Kyrgios takes that game and he leads in the second set. Still on serve, 2 games to 1.
When I step out on the court getting furious, all the people come to see me cause they're curious. You'll be eating up these aces, I'm victorious. Don't be questioning my mind, it's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS.
Yeah, I like that button a lot. If you do as well, hit the like button on this video. Let's see how many likes we can give to Game to Love. MQR asking, are there any Grand Slam champions in the top 10 of the WTA outside of Iga? And Carlton saying, yes, Muguruza, however you pronounce her surname, not sure. And saying, stay well. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. MJ saying, I've been body-wise running, only had ankle issues and a hip. I responded well to physiotherapy. Okay, that's great to hear. MJ saying, sorry about your knees. Did you have an injury? Normally knees are okay. So it was box jumping, I think, which caused the knee injury. MJ saying, debating after cooking the wings and this match, do you mani pedi? Lol, can't think without sneezing money. Hi, Snail. Nice to see you in the chat once again. As HURKACZ will now be serving at 1 game to 2. HURKACZ, big serve there down the tee. It's an ace, 15 love. Okay, we are back on the GOAT debate, it seems. This cannot go wrong in any way. Let's see. Federer has the most overall titles against the big 3 at 103 ATP titles. Oh, you mean the most titles overall? Most Masters 500 titles, has an Olympic gold medal in doubles, has won the most ATP finals, is the only player to bagel Nadal all surfaces. Yeah, well, it's nice to go and like select the stats that suits your narrative, right? But no, so with regards to the GOAT, I think it's, I've mentioned it a few times in my streams, like if you Google tennis GOAT calculator, that will take you to a site called Ultimate Tennis Statistics, and they have this method where they incorporate a lot of variables to go and determine the GOAT, and then they have a list of the GOAT rankings. And for me, that is the best method in determining the GOAT. It's just the most comprehensive. And in there, they have Djokovic at number 1, Nadal, Federer at number 2, and Nadal at number 3. But it looks like continuing, the odds are good that Nadal will overtake Federer in that race going forward. As to how they calculate it, you can go and check yourselves. It is quite complicated, but I think that is the most comprehensive method. As HURKACZ is serving an ace there, and it's 2 games all. Yeah, Colton saying we are so lucky to be watching the 3 greatest players at once. I mean, what's the odds, right? To have the best 3 of all time play the same time. I mean, this is going to be something we tell our grandchildren one day. Or maybe some of you are telling your grandchildren right now. Are there any grandparents in the chat? If so, holla. But yeah, there's definitely something I'm going to tell my grandchildren. Do you know Roger Federer and Nadal and Djokovic? And then they're like, yeah, grandpa, you've told me 130 times. And I think we can say the same for other sports, like Messi and Ronaldo. To think that we are living through this generation, it's insane. Now, the thing is, I'm sure like a lot of people said the same, like, oh my, wow, we've seen Sampras. And then we got people like even better. But that being said, I mean, these 3, we'll maybe get like one person that gets a lot of Grand Slams again. But 3 in the same era like this, I don't think it's going to happen again. As KYRGIOS is up 40 love in his service game. Yeah, MQR is stating in the women's, and I saw this stat as well, which was quite surprising. Like the gap between number 1 and number 2 is the same as the gap between number 2 and 170, which is insane. We have a double fault there by KYRGIOS, but it's not too damaging as he is up 40 love. It's now 40-15. What about Rod Laver? Yeah, so I can actually pull up that list on the GOAT calculator. Let's do that quickly. GOAT calculator. Probably add tennis there. Tennis. All right. So the GOAT calculator, we have Novak at number 1 at 975 points. Then we have Roger at 933, and then Rafa at 882. And then 4th, actually quite surprising, is Jimmy Connors. I guess with the all the quantity of titles he has, as KYRGIOS is able to hold his serve there, and it leads 3-2. So at number 4, we have Jimmy Connors. Then at number 5, we have Ivan Lendl. At number 6, we have Pete Sampras. Number 7, John McEnroe. Number 8, Bjorn Borg. Number 9, Andre Agassi. And then number 10, Rod Laver. Now, I know the reason why Rod Laver is regarded so highly in the GOAT debate amongst people is like he had to miss a lot of Grand Slams, I think due to wars or something. So he didn't like play all that often. But I mean, I guess with this website, they say, well, you can't go with if and buts, like they go on what actually happened and not like what could have happened. Now, whether you agree that we shouldn't incorporate ifs and buts, whether we should or not, I mean, that's up for debate, right? But statistically, that is not incorporated in this site. And interesting, we have, okay, number 11, Boris Becker, number 12, Stefan Edberg, and then number 13, we have Andy Murray. So Neil's saying even Nadal admitted that he considers himself, Novak and Roger as the GOATs equally. Yeah, they all, usually when people ask them that question, they are like, well, we don't care. It's up for the public to debate that, but they don't really care about the GOAT debates. Suraf saying, do you think that after the big three, there'll be, will there be someone like them who can have they can have the same domination they had? Or will it be a more even field for everyone? Yeah, that's a good question, right? And I think it's going to be more even. You're going to more have like random winners here and there, especially with like, sorry, as HURKACZ is now serving here, and it's an ace, 15 love. Well, and that's also why it's an interesting debate. You know, like people talk about Carlos Alcaraz and saying like, yo, don't compare him to the big three. He's not going to have as many Grand Slams. Well, you could argue that if he doesn't have the competition that the big three had, like versus the other two, then he can win like 25 Grand Slams and still not be as good as they were, because he didn't have to face like other two people that also can get 20 Grand Slams. So yeah, it's an interesting debate, but I think well, my perspective is let's just enjoy each generation on their own. I think like as soon as you start comparing generations, it becomes a bit like fantasy vibes, like you'll never know. Serena entering Wimbledon. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing her play. She's going to be ranked outside of the 1,000 as HURKACZ is able to hold this game to love, and it's 3 games all. Sean saying, I think this is the first era of sports science since the longevity of the big 3. Yeah, I guess so. Like the days of retiring at 33 is gone. There's a big forehand there by KYRGIOS, and now he's at the net. He's going to go for a smash, and he smashes that away for a winner, and it's 15 love. Okay, now we have arguments for Djokovic here in the chat. And why is it not? Here, sorry, it was stuck. Djokovic has the most Masters 1000 titles, the most weeks #1. He's the only player to ever to beat Nadal. Yeah, so with all 3 players, you can come up with like statistical achievements as an argument for the GOAT debate, right? Yeah, as Carl also says, you can cherry pick statistics for any player. That's true. Yeah, so you're literally picking stats for both Federer and Djokovic. I'm not being biased. I'm speaking the facts. Yeah, so you can now like do the same for Nadal also, I guess, like most Grand Slams. Yeah, I guess that would be the main argument over there. As KYRGIOS now serves to the backhand of HURKACZ, he goes for a slice return, and KYRGIOS hits that for a big winner. And that was important because he was in 15-30, which is now 30 all in this 7th game of the match. And that's a big winner there by KYRGIOS. He's serving at 30 all, and he serves a fault second serve. As he serves the forehand of HURKACZ, and KYRGIOS retreats now to the baseline. And HURKACZ now with a forehand in the net, though. That was a window of opportunity there for HURKACZ, but KYRGIOS got that point with an unforced error by HURKACZ, and it's 40-30. Okay, King Adjust is now going to provide some arguments for Nadal. KYRGIOS serving to the backhand of HURKACZ, and now he goes for the backhand to the backhand of HURKACZ. He goes for the slice. KYRGIOS with the backhand down the line, which always looks awkward, but it's so efficient though. HURKACZ is not able to get that ball back as it goes long, and KYRGIOS takes the game and he leads. Still on serve in this 3rd set, 4-3.
When I step out on the court getting furious, all the people come to see me cause they're curious. You'll be eating up these aces, I'm victorious. Don't be questioning my mind, it's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS.
All right, so little to separate them so far in this 3rd and final decider set. I must say, it looks like HURKACZ has had more opportunities to break on KYRGIOS' serve than vice versa. Tell me in the chat, what do you think? How is this match going to end? Are we going to a final deciding tiebreak? We are 100 people in the chat. Thank you for joining me here today. Consider hitting the like button on this video if you are enjoying this coverage, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I assume GTA will be covering the finals tomorrow as well, and then obviously also the very, very exciting Wimbledon coverage coming your way, where I'm sure JG and Ben will also do some commentating from their side as well. All right, HURKACZ is now serving, and if KYRGIOS is able to break here, then he will be serving for the match. So now, as we get to the business end of this deciding set, holding your serve becomes more and more impactful to the outcome of this match. HURKACZ serving an ace. Down the tee, too big, nothing you can do about that. 15 love. HURKACZ serving to the backhand of KYRGIOS. He goes for the slice. HURKACZ now on top of the court. He goes for a very, very nice controlled forehand winner down the line. 30 love. That's something I can't do. To generate enough topspin to get the ball over that net. And enough topspin that it goes over the net, but not too much that it goes, like 15 kilometers. And it's a good return there by KYRGIOS, as he will now try go for the passing shot. But HURKACZ is clutch at the net. That's fresh. And he's able to put that away, the volley drop shot at the net. And it's 40 love, and the crowd is applauding the skills offered there by HURKACZ at the net. That is some skillful play over there. HURKACZ serving an ace, and he takes that game to love. What a fast service game there by Hubie HURKACZ. All right, that was quite quick. 4 games all. KYRGIOS serving to the... Oh, that's good. That's a big ace there, going wide, and KYRGIOS takes that first point, 15 love. Carlton saying, I think Nick only wins if it doesn't go to a tiebreak. I actually agree with that. I'm scared that Nick will make strange errors in the tiebreak. As he serves another ace though, 30 love. And he serves big to the backhand of HURKACZ. Is able to get that back. But HURKACZ now with a backhand, but he goes long, and it's 40 love. All right, comments or arguments for Nadal. Nadal's the most overall Grand Slams, most French Opens, 62-8 in finals on clay. He's the only player to have an 80-plus win streak on clay. Has won more US Opens than Djokovic. That is quite interesting, right? And more ATP titles than Djokovic. As KYRGIOS is at the net, and he takes that away, and he also has a game to love on his racket. Wow, we're going through this very fast. And noting that Nadal leads in the head-to-head against Federer. Also, an interesting stat I saw on Twitter yesterday is also that Nadal hasn't lost in a final at his favorite surface against the other two, while both of the other two have lost finals on their favorite surface against the other two. Arun saying that KYRGIOS has played better this grasscourt season than ever before. Yeah, well, he's never won Queens or Halle, so if he's able to get, or I don't think he ever went to the final either. So getting to the final is very, very impressive. So I'm hoping that he can take this form further into Wimbledon. Yeah, God, saying 56-second game. I felt like I played that Game to Love song like immediately after each other. Okay, now HURKACZ is serving to stay in the match. I feel like when you have these two quick service games, why do they even bother going to their seats again? They can't be sweating. It was like 2 minutes of not really even play. Just ace, 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 ace. Now they're sitting again, going back to their towels. I'm like, no, just get playing again. Yeah, Colton noting that Nick never even made a grass final. What, nevertheless, a title. As HURKACZ hits that long, and it's love 15. Ooh, no, 15 love. Sorry about that. I got that wrong. It was just in. And Nick wasn't able to handle that ball, which just need the baseline. Okay, so dude needs to rest his shoulder a minute. Come on. I guess so. As HURKACZ is serving at 15 love to the forehand of Nick, who tries to hit that ball like the biggest winner ever, unsuccessfully, 30 love. And we have people in the crowd. That's funny. We have 3 people in the crowd, and they are wearing a Federer and Nadal and Djokovic posters on their faces. That is funny. HURKACZ serving at 30 love, and he serves an ace, I think. Yes, it is an ace. It's 40 love. Wow. Are we going to get 3 love games in a row? I wonder what's the record for the most love games in a row. HURKACZ serving at 40 love. And that's a fault. Second serve. So it's the forehand of Nick, who goes for a winner, and he does get that for a winner, and it's 40-15, and will not be a game to love. Arun asking winner predictions. Let me know in the chat. So I think, yeah, this thing, as Colton noted, I think if it goes to a tie break, then I'm actually going for a HURKACZ, to be honest, because I think Nick is not going to keep his focus in a tie break. KYRGIOS now with a big forehand, and is now at the net. Will HURKACZ pass? No, he won't. He hits his backhand in the net, and it's 40-30. Well, we had a 40 love, and we're now at 40-30. Can this be a turning point for KYRGIOS in this game and also in this match? MJ, I'm glad to hear that your honey mustard chicken wings are great. Now you need to run 4 to 5 miles. All right. Hopefully after this match, as HURKACZ is able to clutch out that game, and is 5 games all. All right, 5 games all, and it's getting quite tense. I think both players now realize how important it is to hold their serve, as KYRGIOS is serving, and it's a fault, and he now looks frustrated. Let's hope that he can be calm, cool, and collected. Second serve, and he tries to go for a second serve ace. Why would you do that? And now he's frustrated. No, nobody did that other than you. Like, now he's arguing with the umpire. You went for a massive second serve, didn't go in, and now you're angry at the umpire. You went for that risk. I should just keep calm here, as KYRGIOS now serving at love 15, and he goes for a big ace there, 15 all. Can you just think HURKACZ 2 for me, just because I want HURKACZ to do better? Interesting. Casey, this is Loki, the best paying GTL button, the HURKACZ one. As HURKACZ is not able to get that return back, and it's 30-15. Game to love, stating support this channel by going to PayPal and become a Patreon also, if you wish to do so. And also there is, I think that PayPal is if you want to make a donation. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm just saying I took a month off of running, so my legs are sore after you ran 3.5 miles yesterday. As KYRGIOS hits that slice long, and it's 30 all. Hence watching GTL podcast and cooking up a storm. MQR, the clown, is getting angry. Oh, he's getting a bit frustrated. Let's see whether it influences his ability to clutch out this game at 30 all. Big serve down the tee. I think it's lit. And Colton noting that he's starting arguing that it means he's going to lose. Yeah, I really hope that's not the case, but I think you might be correct, Colton. KYRGIOS serving. And it's in, but it's a good return there by HURKACZ with the backhand now to the forehand of KYRGIOS. HURKACZ now with the backhand again to the forehand of KYRGIOS. And that's a beautiful forehand winner down the line by KYRGIOS. That's nice to see that despite the rally being neutral at that stage, he took the initiative going for the winner there. And that's a big forehand winner there by KYRGIOS. And he hasn't really needed that a lot during this match with all the aces. Usually it's like either an ace or it's a big smash from the ace in the next ball. But here we see him during a rally hitting a big forehand winner, which is something to gain confidence from. As KYRGIOS is now serving at 40-30, and he serves down the tee. HURKACZ is a very nice block return there, and it's deep. And now KYRGIOS now with the backhand down the line. HURKACZ now with his forehand, the forehand of KYRGIOS. HURKACZ in control of this rally, but HURKACZ hits that long, and it's a game to Nick KYRGIOS, and he leads in this third set. 6 games to 5.
When I step out on the court getting furious, all the people come to see me cause they're curious. You'll be eating up these aces, I'm victorious. Don't be questioning my mind, it's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS. It's King KYRGIOS.
All right, so once again, it is the case that HURKACZ is now serving to stay in the match. HURKACZ will be trying to force this to a third set decider tiebreak, and how exciting and stressful that will be. Welcome to the 122 people with me live in the chat. Hit a like on this video and tell me in the chat, what are your thoughts on this game? Will HURKACZ be able to force it to a tiebreak? And if it goes to a tiebreak, which player will be able to keep? All right, sorry, I don't know what happened there. I was gone for a while, but I'm back. All right. That was strange. Anyway, I'm back, and HURKACZ is going to try to stay in this match at 5-3. Victor saying KYRGIOS has 0 chance. Unbiased assess. 0, like 0, none whatsoever. Bold statement over there. MJ saying Ben wants the mothership back. I think it's maybe my Wi-Fi that just for a while went. So total points 94 HURKACZ, 94 KYRGIOS. Isn't that insane? As HURKACZ is now serving to the backhand of KYRGIOS, and it's a good return there by KYRGIOS, but it's a good follow-up shot there by HURKACZ. KYRGIOS now with a big forehand cross-court. KYRGIOS guesses the other way, and it's 15-love for Hubie HURKACZ. Gee, nice to have you back in the chat for the business end of this third and deciding set. As HURKACZ is serving and KYRGIOS guesses the other way, and it's 30-love. Orange saying KYRGIOS is going to win. Let's see, let's see. Very difficult to predict at this stage, as it's all about who can keep on winning hitting aces. Another ace by HURKACZ. This is just big. 40-love. 214 kilometers per hour. Sheen saying KYRGIOS versus Medvedev would be insane. So I think that's the final I'm hoping for, as HURKACZ is just serving another ace. Nonchalant, easy as you do. And it's 6 games to love. And this means it's a third and final set decider tiebreak. All right, what way is this going to go? Tell me down below in the chat who is taking this tiebreak and what is the final score going to be. KYRGIOS was at the net, smashing it. HURKACZ got that back, but it was going long. And it's first point to KYRGIOS on his serve. Gary, nice to have you back. I had to go back to work and mostly missed this match. I need to go back and watch the replay, but it looks like there will be still plenty of intrigue and some great contenders at Wimbledon. So basically, this was just a serve festival. It was like no real rallies. It was, as you can see with the ace count there, 27 aces to HURKACZ, 28 for KYRGIOS. So maybe not that like, if you don't like serve bots, then you won't like this match. I found it intriguing. As KYRGIOS is now going to try and pass. HURKACZ is at the net. KYRGIOS is going to try and pass again. And he had an opportunity there, but it goes with a forehand in the net. And it's 1 point all. I must say, I think like KYRGIOS really had a big opportunity there to pass HURKACZ, but I think you went for the wrong shot selection. Well, I guess it's easy to say when you, in retrospect, know that it didn't work, right? All right, HURKACZ going for a big serve down the tee. It's not an ace, but it's unreturned by KYRGIOS, and it's both on serve. It's 2-1 now for HURKACZ. All right, let's see. Colton saying Hubie is going to take it. Milan saying, come on, Nick, 7-5. We've got King Ajah saying 7-4 for HURKACZ. Gene saying 9-7 for Hubie, as Nick serves an ace. And it's 2 apiece. Arun saying 7-4 for KYRGIOS. KYRGIOS now serving at 2 points apiece. I'm back. And KYRGIOS was able to hold his serve there and a 3-2. Sorry about that. The aliens wanted to communicate with me. Second serve for HURKACZ. And KYRGIOS is stepping in to the back with a backhand return. KYRGIOS now with the forehand to the forehand of HURKACZ. He goes cross-court. KYRGIOS now with a forehand slice. HURKACZ is stepping in. KYRGIOS is going to try and lob, but HURKACZ will be there with a smash. Can he smash this away? And he does, and it's 3 points apiece. And HURKACZ goes for the fist as he's able to hold his serve, and they are going to change ends. King of Just asking, what's the best Grand Slam final ever? Is it the Australia Open 2012? So I'm going for the Wimbledon 2008. But let's see in the chat, what do you say is the best final ever? But I guess, yeah, I understand like why you're saying Australian Open 2012, longest final ever. I'm going for the Wimbledon final 2008 as the best final ever. And Colton saying that the Wimbledon final of 2019 sticks up. No, we don't talk about that. That never happened. Yeah, that never happened. I don't know what you talk. Wimbledon finals 2019. I don't know. There wasn't a Wimbledon match that day. It doesn't exist. Hi, Jasmina. Nice to have you for the final tiebreak in this match. As HURKACZ is serving at 3-all. And KYRGIOS is not able to return that serve. And it's 4-3. Both players so far able to hold their serve. Yeah, sorry, I'm back again. I got called by the dark side of the Force. The dark side is a pathway to many abilities, some considered to be unnatural. KYRGIOS serving at 3-4. To the forehand of HURKACZ, who goes for a very, very nice block return. That was a very impressive return there by HURKACZ, and he takes that point, and he's up a mini break, and we know how valuable that can be on grass, and especially against these two players. It was a great return there by HURKACZ, and he's up 5-3. He apologizes to Nick. I think it's because his block return touched the baseline, but KYRGIOS is now able to follow up with a ace, and it's 5-4, and now it's on HURKACZ's racket. He has 2 points on his serve. If he wins both of them, he takes this match and goes through to the final. Let's see, HURKACZ 5-4, 2 points on his serve. Colin saying, Haman, I am a Federer fan, but I can still say the final was amazing, even though it made me sad. Yeah, for me, the best way to cope with that is to act like it didn't exist. The same with Star Wars episode 7 to 9. Doesn't exist. It doesn't. Palpatine died in episode 6. As we have a return there by KYRGIOS. And now KYRGIOS with a backhand slice. HURKACZ in control. He goes for a forehand winner. KYRGIOS is not able to get that back. And it's match point for Hubert HURKACZ on his serve.
Match point.
All right, can HURKACZ clutch this away on grass with his big serve? And this is tight. And the crowd is getting involved here. Yeah, as Jean says, the tie break lottery. It was one mini break. And can this be enough for Hubert HURKACZ as he is serving? And he serves. Did they go in? What happened there? I think it's a fault. He went for a body serve. And everybody's laughing, including Nick. But I don't have audio, so I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, Ginseng into the body. Was that a fault? I assume it's now a second serve. I assume I will now see on the way he's now serving. Oh no, it seems like that was I don't know what that was, but now we had a first serve, which is in the net, and now it's second serve. Oh, Ginseng, it was let. Okay, second serve for HURKACZ. Match point. As he serves the backhand of Nick, and it's a deep return there by Nick. Nick now with a backhand, and Nick tries to go safe. HURKACZ now with a slice. Nick with a forehand. HURKACZ goes down the line with his forehand, and Nick hits it in the net. And his match for HURKACZ in the end, and one mini break was enough. HURKACZ is able to take that match. They have a handshake at the net. Nick is looking like not too mad about that. Oh, sorry. And HURKACZ is in the final. He wins the semi-final. And he will face Medvedev in the final tomorrow in Halle. Well done to HURKACZ. All right, in the end, HURKACZ is able to take that match and he will face Medvedev in the final tomorrow. It could have gone anyway. As I've said, it was one mini break in the tie break, and it was all due to that very good block return that HURKACZ was able to make against KYRGIOS. And he wins the tiebreak 7-6. As we see there, HURKACZ 27 aces, KYRGIOS 30 aces, a lot of aces throughout this game. Let's try and see, like, in terms of points won, I actually want to try and see how many points each player won. I can't see that over here, but that would be interesting to see how many points each player won in this match because it was so tight. In the end, HURKACZ getting the W, and I see we have some glad people in the chat. Gene saying, Vamos Hubie, being a big HURKACZ supporter. MQR seems like you are glad as well. MJ, also glad. My man won. All right. And Milan saying that is a tough loss for KYRGIOS. That was a very big opportunity for him to get his first Grand Slam title potentially, and his first Grand Slam or first grass court title, and also it would have been his first grass court final. But in the end, it is HURKACZ who's able to get the W in this match. Tell me in the chat, what is your prediction for tomorrow's match then in the final between Daniil Medvedev and HURKACZ? And also tell me, what effect will this have on your predictions for Wimbledon? Does that place HURKACZ higher in the ranking of potential players who can win Wimbledon? King of saying, congratulations, HURKACZ. Good match and ready for the Medvedev-HURKACZ final. Haman doing a Nick impression. That's brilliant. Well done. That's the comment of the match. Carlton said, thank you very much, Haman. Always good to see you commenting. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. Before you leave this chat, please consider hitting a like button on this video, and I will see you in future coverage again. Thank you, everybody, who have joined me for this match. Jasmina saying, many people have made money, so I'm assuming then, with that statement, you're saying that KYRGIOS was the favorite in terms of the betting. So, in other words, if you went for HURKACZ, then you made a lot of money with the odds being in KYRGIOS's favor. Gene saying, HURKACZ 50 winners, only 15 unforced errors. Yeah, that is good. But also, I think we have to consider that an ace is considered as a winner as well, right? So 50 winners, but of those 50, like how many aces did he hit? I can't remember the stat now. Let's see quickly. He hit 27 aces. So in reality, if you remove aces from the count, it's only... well, still impressive, 23 winners. But I think like we didn't have a lot of rallies throughout this match. So that could also maybe be just but one of the reasons why there weren't many unforced errors. KC saying HURKACZ a more serious player, most definitely. Taking the sport more seriously than Nick KYRGIOS does do. MJ asking, Gene, you're a Djokovic fan? I think so, right? Yeah, that's how I have it. King of saying first Grand Slam for HURKACZ, potentially. He's definitely in the top 5, right? I would say in terms of potential players. When you say, okay, well, names coming up is Djokovic, obviously, Nadal, obviously, and then other names popping up must be HURKACZ, and then probably maybe you could say like Chile could be in. Berrettini, obviously, right? But will Berrettini beat the likes of a Djokovic or a Nadal? I don't know. Will HURKACZ, does he have the game to put out a big 3? Well, he did last year, right, with Federer, but we don't really know how healthy Federer was. But tell me, do you think HURKACZ does have a chance against the likes of a Djokovic or a Nadal in Wimbledon? And Colton noting, very importantly, now he's not seated at Wimbledon. So if you are a Djokovic or a Nadal fan, this means that your favorite player could be facing Nick KYRGIOS in like a round 1 or a round 2 of Wimbledon. Probably not a round 1. I don't know. but he could face them very early on. So that could be a very, very interesting matchup. As Colton noted earlier, that if Kyrgios was able to win this match, he would have been seeded for Wimbledon. 12 travel. Medvedev is going to win tomorrow, according to you. 6-7, 7-6, 7-6. All right, so that's going to be very, very tight thing. King of Just saying I'm going for Medvedev 100% because I'm a big Medvedev fan. That would be quite funny if Medvedev wins. Then it's just so unfortunate. Well, it's unfortunate regardless, right? But it's so unfortunate if he wins then Halle, and then we can't see how it translates to Wimbledon. Because if he wins Halle, then you must say, wow, he definitely then would have been a contender at Wimbledon. Casey, thank you for joining me today. Gene saying, I think HURKACZ is definitely a contender for Wimbledon now, behind Berrettini. Behind Berrettini, Djokovic, and Nadal. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's exactly where I would place him as well. It's very difficult to place Alcaraz, as we don't have any grass court experience with him in previous years, and also he didn't play any warm-up tournaments, so it's very difficult to place HURKACZ in that power rankings. Peace out, King and Just. Nice to have you in the chat again, and I'm sure I'll see you in the future again. KC asking, will Medi lose in the final again? We'll have to see. King of Just asking, is Halle a Masters 500? It is. It is 500. Yes, it was a 250 for many, many years, and I think it was in 2014. I don't remember which year it was where it became a 500. So both Queens and Halle were 250s, and now they are 500s, meaning that we don't have a Masters 1000 on the grass. MJ saying, I'm going to make a cheat sheet. That's a good idea. I like Excel. I like Excel a lot as well. I love a piece of Excel, and VBA I like a lot. Okay, Gene saying 500, King. Yeah, so it is a 500. Gene saying Kyrgios is playing next week in Mallorca. That is interesting. So he's playing really a lot of grass court tournaments, which is quite a contradiction to last year. I mean, last year he played nothing, I think, right? He just went straight into Wimbledon. And then he beat Mbaye in the first round. And now he's playing everything. Is that good? Is it maybe too much? I don't know. But it will be nice to watch because, I mean, now the draw in Mallorca is actually insane. So I guess GTL will be covering Mallorca as well. Alex saying, last time I checked, Alcaraz was second favorite for Wimbledon. That is interesting. Very, very interesting. And it will be interesting to see how this will change given Berrettini and HURKACZ having now both of them being in a final of a leading grass court tournament. Yeah, it's very interesting for me that Alcaraz is second favorite for Wimbledon, despite having nothing really to back it up on the grass, at least. Let's see. MQR saying, I'm getting really worried that there will be HURKACZ versus Djokovic final at Wimbledon. Yeah, I think that will be a straight sets victory for Djokovic. I mean, let me say, there's no one. I mean, tell me if you disagree, but I think HURKACZ against Djokovic final, straight sets. Berrettini maybe can do something. I think his backhand will be just too big of a weakness in such a matchup. So who can trouble Djokovic? Ironically, I feel like Kyrgios has a bigger chance in an isolated match against Djokovic than a HURKACZ or a Berrettini. Tell me if you agree in the chat. Yeah, Gene saying Nadal might withdraw, though. That is true. We don't know. So the only thing that Nadal said is, and it's nice of those of you still with me in the chat, despite the match being long, but I mean, let's keep chatting. I have time. If you have as well, let's keep going. So Nadal said that I think it's important to not misread what he said. He didn't say, I'm going to play Wimbledon. He said, it is my intention to play Wimbledon. So that doesn't mean he's going to play, it's his intention. But it's still better than saying, I want to play Wimbledon. That doesn't really tell us anything if he says, I want to play Wimbledon. Because, I mean, Federer also wants to play Wimbledon, but he's not going to. So that's also already better. Oh, that's already better that he says it's his intention. That's a bigger indicator of it then going to happen. So we'll see. So he said he's intending to play, but I guess in Mallorca, we'll see whether his foot gives him issues or not. Now, he said he won't get any foot treatments in the future, again, as he did with the French Open. But I'm interested to see, let's say that he plays Wimbledon And then, like here in the semis, suddenly, or after the quarterfinal, his foot gives issues. Will he then not consider getting those injections just for 2 more matches, as he's already so far in the tournament? I don't know. That will be interesting to see. Good night, Colton. We'll see you in a future stream again. Milan saying, I'm hoping for a Medvedev win tomorrow. Gene saying, thanks for the stream. Thank you for joining me today. I'm sure I'll see all of your familiar faces in the future again. Casey saying, I think this is the best post-match chat GTL has ever had. Yeah, I'm just keep on going. Usually, I also like end it quite quickly afterwards, but now, I mean, there are quite interesting comments here. So, I mean, I don't see any reason to stop as long as the conversation is keep on going. Travel 21, did Hubert win Halle last year? I think he did. Don't think he won Wimbledon, no. So he lost in the first round against KYRGIOS, which made that victory so like much better from a KYRGIOS perspective, because Hubert won Halle, I think he did, right? And then he lost first round, but it's so unlucky because, I mean, you're facing KYRGIOS and anybody can lose to KYRGIOS. So it's not like he did poorly in Wimbledon, he was just unlucky that he faced KYRGIOS in the first round. But then that also makes the first round win by KYRGIOS in that match so much more impressive, that he actually beat the Halle champion in his first round. Gary, MJ, considering Gene and Gary to be 100% identical when it comes to Djokovic. Yeah, I know you're big Djokovic fans. MJ on my cheat sheet, so everything including the stream leaders, like I'm on a Ben JG. All right. Yeah, my draw previews I always do on Excel to see where it's going. Gene saying HURKACZ is a much better player. Better than who? Yeah, sorry, I lost that one. Let's see. Oh, I still have a lot of chat messages to catch up on here. Okay, Gene saying he made the semifinals of Wimbledon last year. Who's he? Oh, HURKACZ. Yeah, that's true. Gary, thanks, someone. Excellent work as always. Thank you very much, Gary. I appreciate it. I think Daniel wins tomorrow. His cross game is evolving nicely. I'm predicting the same. I think Medvedev wins. I saw a stat yesterday where they've shown that Medvedev, he has saved like 17 breakpoints out of 17 so far this tournament. And that was before his match today against Ott. And I didn't watch the full match of Ott, but I saw him saving a lot of breakpoints there as well. So tell me, maybe if you know in the chat, but as I have it, Medvedev has saved now like something 20-something breakpoints throughout this tournament. He hasn't broken his serve. No, he has. Ott did break his serve in the first set, I think, right? So that isn't like that record, if you will, is now broken, but he has saved a lot of breakpoints throughout this tournament. Or did Ott break him? I can't remember now. Did he just have an opportunity to break and then he didn't? No, Ott did break him and then Medvedev broke back. Yes, that is what happened. Ott served for the first set. Now remember, Ott served for the first set at 5-4 and he was not able to serve it out. And then Medvedev broke back. But yeah, so Medvedev is not now unbroken so far in this tournament any longer. Mallorca. I think you're right. Yeah, Mallorca is pronounced Mallorca. I think you're correct on that one. Gene pointing out that HURKACZ has never lost a final in his career. Interesting stat. Very, very interesting. And Gene saying, I agree with that, Havan. Sorry, I'm a bit behind in the chat, so I don't know what you agree with, but I'm glad that you agree. 12, 21. KYRGIOS and Musa are the two most dangerous floaters in the draw. Definitely. Most definitely. KYRGIOS and Andy Murray would be very, very dangerous opponents to get early on throughout this tournament. And that will make the draw very exciting to see the draw, how that could pan out. It's the same like when we saw that Nadal was going to be seeded 5th. We all knew that a Djokovic-Nadal quarterfinal was a possibility, and then it did happen. And now, I think when we look at the draw, everybody's going to look at who is going to have to face KYRGIOS and Murray early on in their matchups. He's just saying, Gino, very interesting. Yeah, I think it's the stat where he said that HURKACZ has never lost a final. That is very interesting. I didn't know that. Casey saying, yeah, I would be very unexcited for that final. Yeah, if we have a HURKACZ-Djokovic final, I must unfortunately agree with that. MQR saying, I also think Novak would beat HURKACZ, but I'd like both win. Yeah, because you're a fan of both. Yeah. 12 Travel 21. Someone tweeted KYRGIOS head-to-head against the current world top 8. Rafa is the only guy he has a losing head-to-head against. Oh, the current world top 8. That is very interesting. And it's not like he has a bad head-to-head against Rafa either, right? I mean, it's very tight. I mean, I can think of 2 matches where it was very close. And I think the scoreline for those 2 matches were actually identical. It was that match in the Australian Open and also in Wimbledon, where we lost in 4 sets. Now, you might think 4 sets, that's not very tight. It was very tight, all of those games. So, yes, he has a losing head-to-head only against Rafa, and also that is very tight. His record against Rafa is very good. So, yeah, that's a very interesting stat, how he does so well. And I think it's because we all know about his potential, right? So as soon as he plays a top guy, then he's like stepping up, and because he knows he can win. It's not like, I don't want to call out names, but for example, Casper Ruud, you could see like he was overwhelmed by the stage, like facing Rafa, and he's like very respectful. Oh, I can't when he's too big of an opponent to win. While KYRGIOS is like, I can beat them. And then sometimes he does. Gene, well, Haman, I think Nadal is trying to underlay his chances, but I think he is playing the exhibition in Hurlingham, along with Djokovic, Alcaraz, and Ruud. Isn't that insane, right? So he may be testing his foot out there. Yeah, I think that's the purpose of it, to test that out. So I think, yeah, and also I think he came out with this announcement because he's just tired of these speculations. Like, everybody's probably asking him like 20 times a day, are you going to play Wimbledon or you're not? And he was like, listen, and I watched, they discussed it in the talk show 3, the tennis podcast on YouTube. 3 is like by Gil Gross and then Jill Trucker and Amy Lundy. Very interesting podcast. Check it out if you like listening to podcasts as well. Obviously you do. So there they discuss like Nadal's odds of playing Wimbledon, and they discuss Federer like the show is called 3. So meaning, and it refers to the big 3, Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer. So if you're a fan of the big 3, make sure to go and subscribe to that channel. Casey saying Serena and Jabeur playing doubles against Stormo and Buskova at Eastbourne round 1. That's going to be interesting. It's just going to be great to see Serena back again. MJ saying also these are best of 5, the Grand Slams. Yeah, that makes a big difference. It really does. Gene saying better than Humbert. Yeah, I'm not sure who you're referring to there. KYRGIOS probably, but yeah, he is. And Humbert, unfortunately, is in bad form since that victory last year in Halle. Casey, Nadal going for the calendar slam this year. Yeah, that's interesting, right? And I think it's the first time ever in his career where he has won both Australian Open and French. Right? Because he's won the Australian Open before in 2009, but then he lost in French Open in 2009 against Soderling. So now it's the first time he has like sort of a chance for the calendar Grand Slam. So he might be interested in going for that. MJ asking, are you covering the final tomorrow? I'm sure GTL will be covering the final tomorrow. Whether it's me or not, I'm not sure. But I'm sure someone in Game to Love will definitely be covering the final tomorrow. It's going to be a very, very big match. Or are the parents coming back from vacations? Yeah, maybe Ben or JG are covering it. I don't know. I'm not sure whether they might be covering that match. Gary, post-match chats are awesome. Amanda gives us a chance to discuss other items that we probably shouldn't be talking about during a close match. Yeah, that's true, right? You just have a nice, like, any topic goes type of conversation. That's true. Like, then then you're also not distracted with what's going on during the match. Gene, well, Otto got broken at 4-3 in the first set, though. Yes, oh yeah, so that's when I referred to Medvedev saving so many break points. And then I remembered later that he actually got broken. In fairness, a lack of breaks is synonymous with grass tennis. Yeah, that's very true. Very, very, very true. Like, it's very, very difficult to break on grass versus clay, where the rally is neutralized very quickly. King adjusting, I like Otto's playing style. Hope he does good. Yeah, it is quite exciting to watch. And isn't it also Otto, I think last year he took Murray to 5 sets in Wimbledon. I think so. So he could be interesting, someone to watch in Wimbledon. Gary, not ready to anoint Alcaraz as just below the big three. Only Medvedev has earned that place. Yeah, I agree. And I would have liked to put Team there as well. But unfortunately, I think that injury, it's bad. I don't know whether we're going to get Team to the level we had him before, which is very unfortunate because if we had a healthy Team at the French Open, that would have been insane. KYRGIOS going for a Korda Djokovic Wimbledon final. All right, interesting. It'll also be interesting to see whether it's possible, right? Because Korda could be facing Djokovic like in a fourth round. Gene saying Rudy's too much of a Nadal fanboy. He had no chance in the final. Yeah, correct. I agree with you. Oh, 12/21 saying Team earned it too. Yeah, so I'm glad we agree. I didn't see this comment now before the comment by Gary. So yeah, I'm glad you agree with me then that Team also earns that spot. KYRGIOS saying Nadal can't win a Canada Slam. I'm not a Nadal hater. It's just unrealistic. I don't think it is because let's go through this, right? Who is Nadal's biggest obstacle? It's Djokovic. It's Djokovic, right? I mean, I think we all agree with that. And then other than Djokovic, I think there's a big drop after that. So we don't have Djokovic competing in the US Open, probably, right? They said that the US Open said they're not going to try to make any favors for Djokovic to enter the country. So it looks like at this stage, Djokovic is not playing the US Open. Okay, so massive hurdle avoided there. Wimbledon, we saw them playing against each other in the semi-final in 2018, and that was very close. It could have gone any way. So I don't think it's unrealistic. It's more unlikely than likely. Let's put it that way, right? But no chance. I don't think I'll say that. I don't think I will. All right, Gary, talking about the 3 podcast by Gross, Lundy, and Trucker is top notch. Yeah, I agree. It is very, and like, of course, I first started following Gil Gross, and then I saw, wait, he has this other channel as well. So I like both channels a lot to follow. And then you have like Slice Tennis, I enjoy a lot. I do follow Cam Williams as well, actually. I know, yeah, maybe a bit of a competitor to GTL, but I like following him. And then let's see, who do you have as well? You have like Coffee Break Tennis. He doesn't post that often, which is a pity because I really enjoy his coverage of tennis as well. I am drinking, but it's non-alcoholic though. So it's a non-alcoholic beer that I'm drinking. Discussing 2018 Roofgate. All right. MJ saying Gil has seemed to be a Novak fan, no matter how he tries not to show it. Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm sure he will deny it. He will say, no, I'm not. But as you say, okay, so in your opinion, that you think is a Novak fan. Yeah, he has been very hard on Nadal, in my opinion. Like yeah, I think so. And in terms of Federer, I don't think, we haven't seen him comment on Federer a lot, simply because Federer hasn't played a lot since his channel started. So, yeah, it's difficult to assess there. Gene saying Djokovic had his chance last year. I mean, anything is possible. Yeah, how insane was that final against Medvedev? Slice is to the point. The Slice Tennis channel. KYRGIOS saying I want Medvedev to win the US Open again like last year. And I think he'll have a very, very good chance. I think he will once again have a very good run up until the tournament. You know, your Cincinnati, your Rogers Cup, and Shanghai. Shanghai is after US Open though. But yeah, he usually has a very good hard court swing in that stage. Travel to everyone saying Gary, I think Amy is a Rafa fan, but the two are very impartial. Yeah, I think Amy has admitted she's. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think they all are still quite try to be impartial at least. Let us put it that way. They are not overly rooting for a certain player. They try to keep it technical. MJ saying Coffee Break Tennis. Matt is very long in depth. Yeah, so I usually sit then with a coffee and listen to his analysis with these papers. Very old school. Yasmina Haman. And then you're talking a language that I can't speak. Is Vinny Kakfoyeto Ime? All right, whatever that may mean. Let's see, where are we in the chat? Gene, Rafa has made the semifinals at Wimbledon the last 2 times he's played. Yeah, very, very impressive. And you know what I think? I think the first week for Rafa is much more dangerous than the second week, because we see with the grass, when the grass starts to, like, you know, deteriorate, I think that's the correct word, it becomes more clay-like. It's not clay, like, don't, like, I can see now people, oh no, that's not true, going in the comments. I'm not saying it's clay. It becomes more clay, or let's rather put it this way. As the grass deteriorates, I think the surface becomes more comfortable for Nadal. I think when it's during the first few days where the grass is still fresh, then I think an upset for Nadal is more likely on the cards, especially against the big serve. And I think the stats support that. If you look at losses to, like, you know, Kyrgios, Dustin Brown, Müller, etc. I think it's these big serve players in the first week that is dangerous. But when you get to then the second week, where it's more like the rallies are getting more neutralized, then he has a better chance. And I think when he gets to that point, then when he survives the first week, then in the second week, I think he's a brilliant player at Wimbledon. And as you state, his semifinals that he got to in 18 and 19 proves that. And not only did he make the semis, but he also played that matches very well. Against Djokovic, he could have won, was very close. And actually, the match against Roger was also very close. It was 4 sets, I think. But as far as I can remember, it was very, very tight at the end of that 4th set. I remember there was a shot where Rafa had a very, very big opportunity, but he hit the backhand in the net. And then he went, like, to his knees because he realized that was such a big opportunity, which he then didn't capitalize. 12-12-21 saying, yeah, Coffee Break Tennis and Ben are the top 2 tennis musicians. Oh yeah, Coffee Break Tennis is a musician. That's a musician. That's correct. I saw him play in a band once. Yes, not alcohol, Coca-Cola. So this is a beer. It is a beer, but it's non-alcoholic. Gene saying, and he's pretty good at the US Open too. So he has never lost a final there. Yeah, that being said, one was against Kevin Anderson. Keyboard warriors are coming my way, the Rafa fans. Against Kevin Anderson, I wouldn't say that's the biggest achievement in sports. But I mean, he did beat Delpo in the semis that year, I think. So that is very impressive. Gene saying, for love, and beat Djokovic in 2013. In finals there. Carrie saying, I would have said Amy leans Novak, so the bias is not noticeable. Yeah, so if one person says Rafa and one person says Novak, and clearly it's not very noticeable if she has a preference for any of the players. 12-21, Rafa lost to your boy in 2011, but yes, won the other 4. King Adjust, unfortunately, I don't know if Zverev has a chance in the US Open. Yeah, I don't think whether he will be back by then yet or not. Interesting question. If he's back, then I think he has a chance to do well. But in a previous stream, I did say that I actually am going to make a bold prediction and say Zverev is not going to win a single Grand Slam throughout his career, which is a bold statement, I know, but that's what I am going with. MJ, CBD, Matt doesn't post much. Oh, Coffee Break Tennis, yeah. He has coaching tennis business and he loves Fed. Yeah, he's a very, very big Federer fan. Is delusioned with Novak and Fed. I think behind his desk he has like that poster where Nadal hugs Federer during the Laver Cup, right? I think so. MQR saying, bye everyone. Goodbye, MQR. Nice to see you. I'll see you in the future again. Gene, yes, in 2011. I forgot about that. But you get what I mean. Yeah. And he's great at the US Open, Rafa. Yes, he is. He does better there than the Australian Open. And I especially think with the US Open, the recent years, the US Open has gotten slower. Is it whether it's due to the roof or due to whether like a different surface? I don't know. But the US Open definitely got slower throughout the years. And Charles is saying, yes, US Open is Rafa's second favorite slam. MJ saying, isn't drinking an alcoholic beer like eating a bacon sausage salad? So usually non-alcoholic beers aren't great, but this one is actually not that bad, I must be honest. It still tastes like beer, more or less. Yeah, Gene commenting there. Yeah, the US Open is a slow hard court, which definitely favors Rafael Nadal. MJ, Rafa has made the Australian Open finals a lot. He just loses. Yeah, so it's not like he does poorly at the Australian Open. He does very well there also. But yeah, as you say, he has some losses. I mean, that 2017 final also could have gone anyway. He was up ahead in that match and then just wasn't able to. Or well, Federer's backhand just suddenly became a masterpiece of a shot. Yeah, so you're saying like it's not like he hasn't made it far at the Australian Open. That's very true. Genia, Novak lost to Query in 2016 Open. Yeah, and then in 2017, who did he lose against in 2017? Did he play? Yes, he did play. He lost against, okay, now I'm trivia-ing myself. Who did he lose against in 2017? Did he play in 2017? Novak. He won in 2018, right? And 19 and 21. But who did Novak lose against in 2017? Oh, it was Berdych. I remember now. But it was a default. It was after the first set. He retired against Berdych in that match. I remember now. And yeah, that's the last time. So you could argue, given that that was a default, you can sort of argue that Novak hasn't really lost a full match at Wimbledon. I'm back. Sorry about that. All right. Yeah, so you could say that he hasn't really lost to anyone since then, which is insane. All right, let's see. Australian Open final is always played at night. US Open is played in the afternoon. Interesting take there. Yeah. Ooh, let's have a bit behind in the chat. I can't believe this post-match chat is going on for so long, but I love it. All right, let's see. I'm not going to stop until there isn't chat left. So if you keep going, I'll keep going. Mayur Patil, why Tsitsipas is not able to win a Grand Slam is lacking something. He has been top 10 for long. Well, you could say it's even worse for Zverev. Zverev has been on top of his game for much longer. I mean, he was third in the world ranked in 2017 already, and he hasn't won a Grand Slam. As for Tsitsipas, we know he had that great opportunity in the French Open against Novak, being up 2-0. That being said, Zverev was also up 2-0 against Thiem in the US Open final. That being said, I think Tsitsipas will get his chance. I've been impressed with him throughout this grass court, and I know you think, why on earth would I be impressed? He lost very early on in both warm-up tournaments. I know. And yes, Hamani doesn't have a slice on the grass. I know. But still, I think he's warming up to the idea of enjoying the grass, and I think he's playing next week as well. So let's see. I think he's going deeper than probably what the bookies are giving him a chance for. I think he can do well. He's not going to win Wimbledon, let's put it that way. But yeah, he will get there. I think he will get a Grand Slam sooner than later, other than Zverev, who I predicted will not win anything. But yeah, why is he not able to win one? He was very close against Djokovic, but I mean, it was against the big three, and that's always going to be very, very difficult. Against, like, on the very fast surfaces, I always feel like he's not going to be the underdog. Gary saying, people easily forget how Novak and Roger have dominated Wimbledon. That's true. It would be a tall order, but I wonder how Novak would be perceived if he won 2 more. That is very true. And I must be honest, I think Federer fans, and I'm one of them, right? But I think a lot of Federer fans are going to start saying, yeah, but the grass courts got a lot slower and stuff like that. And I think that's going to be an unfair statement to make. I admit that. Being a Federer fan is going to be an unfair statement to make. So I know we all see Roger as the king of grass. But as you stated, if Novak wins 2 more, then it becomes difficult to deny Novak maybe being the best grass court player. it is true that the grass has become more like, I don't know what the nice in homo something, I don't know what the word there is, homogeneous or something, I don't know, homogeneous, I don't know. But yeah, very, very, very impressive on grass, and I can't see anybody beating him this year, to be honest. So I'll be surprised if he doesn't win another Wimbledon. Very, very impressive. Yeah, sorry, I was out for a while, but I'm back. Berdych, yes, there you mentioned, I remember then it was Berdych who did beat Djokovic in 2007. Yes, 12-31 saying Berdych did retire against Berdych in 2017. I'm just saying, have you seen Greek play? Any pressure, he melts. I think it's even worse for Zverev. Any pressure is like, which is quite unfortunate because they are very, very talented. Yeah, Jamie also saying Djokovic retired elbow injury. I remember now against Berdych. I'm just saying, I kid you not, the Greek just not mentally there. I think Zverev is light years ahead of him. Really? I disagree with that. I think Zverev is mentally worse than Tsitsipas. But okay, interesting. Yeah, I froze there for a while, but I'm back. Okay, let's see. Gary, or commenting to Gary, call me controversial, but I think Jocko would still be regarded below Roger and Pete in terms of cross rankings, even if he won 8. Yeah, that's the thing. I think people would perceive it still lower, but in my opinion, wrongly so. I admit, being a Federer fan, I admit that it would be unfair to say Djokovic is not as good on grass if he has more titles. Yeah. I can't get enough. Should be a Twitch streamer. Well, I've got nothing to do really tonight, so I'm just gonna keep on going. Hubert is gonna go far at Wimbledon again. What do you think? Yeah, I think so. I think he's shown that last year wasn't a fluke. Let's put it that way. It was not a fluke, and he also did very well on clay, right? And why did he do good on clay? Because his serve was able to get him out of tight situations. And we know that on grass, the serve is even more rewarding. So, yeah, I think he could have a very, very good Wimbledon run. James saying Felix has disappointed on the grass so far. Definitely. So before the grass season started, Felix was actually like my 3rd favorite for Wimbledon. And I think he didn't do himself favors by calling himself a grass court specialist. I think he hyped up this grass court season a lot on his social media. And he had that post where he was like saying next up grass and stuff like that. And then he didn't really perform on grass at all. So it is disappointing to see that he didn't really perform in the warm-up tournaments for grass this far. Don't give Aman ideas. Oh, Twitch. I don't know what Twitch is, to be honest. I know there's like this thing at the top indicating that this is being broadcast. And I know like gamers, they stream on Twitch, but I've never been on Twitch myself. So I don't really know what. So like I know there's like a Game to Love Discord, and I am like a whatever you call it member or whatever, but I don't understand it at all. It's a very complicating app to me. So I guess I'm just getting old. I don't know. Strange, these new technologies these days. King of just saying, I want to see Karlovic with us. That would be funny. That would be great to see. Gary saying, I'm afraid you're right about Jocko. As usual, it would be a bit biased and unfair, but I'm not the person to ask. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I think people would still say he's not the greatest grass court player, but it would be a biased opinion to state that if stats prove otherwise. Jamie saying nobody outside the Big Four has won Wimbledon since 2002. Hubert, that is insane. And in my opinion, not only have they not won, but it's not even close. I mean, if you think about the close Wimbledon finals throughout the years, it's always been between 2 big 3 players. You know, like you think those insane 2006, 7, 8 between Rafa and Roger. Okay, yes, 2009 was also very, very tight between Roger and Roddick. So Roddick could have really could have gotten that one, but it didn't go his way. And then it's only the 2014 and 15 finals and 19 between Roger and Djokovic, which was close. But then as soon as you have a big three player against a non-big three player at Wimbledon, then it's usually quite an anticlimactic whitewash by the big three player. So yeah, I think the other players are not even close towards them when it comes to performance at Wimbledon, which is why I think Djokovic is such a big favorite for this year's Wimbledon. Anonymous saying Sinner and Darren Cahill. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but all right. And then asking, what do you think of that? Oh, is Darren Cahill now the coach of Sinner? Is that true? That's interesting. And Cahill is the previous coach of Halep, right? So yeah, that could be very interesting. I think it's it's a very interesting move. What do you guys think in the chat? Sally asking, has Naomi Osaka withdrawn from Wimbledon? Yes, she did. She did withdraw. I saw that notification today. I don't know why. I think it's just a case of there not being any points on the line. And she commented that Wimbledon is now a exhibition tournament, which I don't agree with exactly. But I think she's just made this decision that it's not worth it to play Wimbledon if there aren't any points to gain. King just saying, just hand Joe back to the Wimbledon trophy. No one else can have it. Unless we have a Djokovic and Nadal matchup, I think. Now, you might say, Haman, Nadal hasn't beaten Djokovic in a non-clay court match since 2013. And that's correct. But my first point would be it has been close on the grass in the semi-finals of 2018. And secondly, I think Nadal is the only person that stands a chance in a head-to-head match against Djokovic. And Kyrgios, ironically. So, yeah, we'll see. I think Nadal and Kyrgios are the only two people that can stop Djokovic in a head-to-head match. Jamie, Mary was my pick for Wimbledon at the start of the year before being banned. Yeah, mine as well. Well, actually, so last year, as he won the US Open, I actually went on my betting site and I bet on Medvedev to win Wimbledon. And the odds were I can't remember what it was, but it was something like times 16. So if he would have won Wimbledon, then I would have got what I've put in times 16. So this was a great bet. But then, unfortunately, as you said, with a ban, he won't be able to even participate. Oh, Dream Tennis saying that she withdrew because of her Achilles injury. Okay, sorry. So then I'm wrong. I thought it's just like a decision to not play, but you're saying it's due to an injury. Okay, it's interesting. Gene, what do you think of Zachary versus I can't believe we are 64 people still online. That's amazing. Thank you very much. So what do you think of Zachary versus Bencic match? I actually didn't watch it. I was driving. I was in Hermanus for the weekend, so I was driving, so I didn't see the match. Once again, Zachary losing another close match in a semi-final. She's 5-12 in semi-finals for Korea. That's concerning. It is concerning. It really is. So, and then it becomes a habit. And I think it's one of those cases where the more it happens, the more it will happen, if that makes sense. Is that a cliche thing to say? Probably, but I don't care. Because, the more it happens, the more when she's in another situation like that, she's going to recollect those memories of where it happened before. And it's going to play with her mind again and again and again. And you somehow have to break that. So, yes, it is concerning. I agree. King just saying, can Djokovic play in the Australian Open? Or are they going to try to force him and take a vaccine that doesn't work? Okay, so I'm not going to go into the vaccine thingy. But that's an interesting question. I thought about it the other day as well, because we know now probably won't be able to play the US Open. Another question is, will he play the Australian Open? And now I'm going to talk about this, ignore or not going into vaccine debates. This is on the internet. I'm not going to put my reputation on the line. And also, I'm not a medical expert, so yeah. But anyway, put the vaccine aside, what do you think is the odds of him then playing Australian Open? Well, let's think about it, right? Okay, I think the first thing here is it's not the tournament that disallowed him, right? It's the government. So I think that's an important starting point when assessing the probability of him playing Australian Open. It's not the tournament, it's the government. So whether the tournament wants him or not is irrelevant. It's all about the government. Okay, so he was disallowed because of the government. Now, was it due to a law where he may not enter the country without a vaccine? No. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as I have it, they went with a ruling and decided to not allow him in the country or to remove him from the country because he would have a negative influence on the anti-vax. So that was a decision made not based on an existing law, but on a case-by-case decision of what's the word I'm looking for? Like, they took their own initiative and decided they don't want him there. So now the question is, will they do that again or not? So it's not a rule in law that disallows Djokovic from going in there. It was a decision they made for Djokovic. And now the question is, are they going to do it again or not? Now, I also know, and I'm not very knowledgeable in these law things, right? So don't take my word for anything I say. But there was this thing of, if you get deported, then you are not allowed back in the country for several more years. Is that true, or is it just like a rumor? I don't know. But as I said, it's going to come down to, once again, whether the government decides whether to allow him or not, rather than whether a law is still going to be in place or not. Because as I have it, he didn't break any rules in terms of the law. Unlike the America, where it's like a law that you have to get vaccinated to enter the country. But tell me in the chat your predictions on that, and also whether I'm correct in my statements with relating to the rules. Interesting, lately, if you saw the French Open comparing Tsitsipas and Zverev, Sasha was holding up much better. Well, yeah, we don't know. That's the big if. I mean, if he didn't get injured in that match, it's difficult to say how it would have gone. Because, I mean, let's think about this. Sasha was up 6-2 in the first set tiebreak. 6-2, and he still lost. And he was serving for the second set. And he lost that service game as well. So it went to a tiebreak. So was he holding up well? He had 2 opportunities to win a set, and he didn't capitalize on any of those 2. So I'm not so sure. Yeah, saying he had horrible luck. Yeah, so I'm not sure whether he would have clutched out the tiebreak or not. It's difficult to know. There's a lot of chats to get through here, but that's great. Let's see. Jamie, if Berrettini is in... so that probably means like you're not counting on the Australian... the Djokovic Australian Open, but by the time I get there, it's still going to be a while because there are a lot of chats up until that stage. So if Berrettini is in Novak's half at Wimbledon, I think he beats Nola this time. Interesting take. I think for these non-Big 3 players, they have a better chance of beating Novak when it's not the final. I agree with that statement. And it's the same with Rafa in the French. You definitely have a bigger odds, I think, of beating these big players when it's not a final versus when it's a final, definitely. 12-21. I think anyone who has a visa revoked is automatically banned. Yeah, so that was one of my questions, right? Isn't it the case that if you get deported, that by default, you may not enter the country? Or is it not necessarily by default? Is it still by the discretion? Oh, that's the word I was looking for. Discretion. Is it up to the discretion of the government or not? Jean saying, Jamie, not disagree. Oh, disagree that Berrettini has a better chance if it's not the final. Yeah, so I actually agree with Genia that I don't think he beats him, but I think he has a better chance if it's not a final. Didn't Isner play doubles with Schwartzman? Yes, they did. It was a clay tournament where they played doubles, and it was fun to see. Gary saying, I think Zachary and FAA have similar ceiling problem. They rarely break through still. Yeah, so what age is Zachary? I know like Felix is still very, very young. So I think we have to be careful to place a stamp on a player that is still that young. How old is Zachary? I think she's also still very young, yeah. Dream Tennis saying, I think Zachary is where she is because of her physical strength, no injuries, and good team behind her. And NJ confirming that Naomi Osaka withdrew due to an injury and not due to not feeling that Wimbledon isn't valuable anymore. Mayor asking, will grass surface support Alcaraz's game? I have no idea. It's so difficult to say. I think what we do have to take into account here is that the surfaces are more like similar to each other than they were 10 or 15 or 20 years ago. So it's not going to be a case anymore of like being like ridiculously bad on any surface. If you're a good tennis player, then you're going to be fairly good on all of them. But it's difficult to assess here because we haven't seen him play on grass a lot. Like, does he have a nice slice? Does he have a nice block return? How is he going to move on grass? So yeah, it's very, very difficult for me to say, really. He doesn't have a big serve, so he's not going to get a lot of free points with aces. So yeah, it's difficult to say. Gene saying, yes, Kale is one of the best coaches around. Like you said, Alep got number 1 and won the French and Wimbledon with him. Yep. So in my opinion, he's better than Patrick. I don't know how to pronounce his surname. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Kale. I think he's a very, very good coach. I'm just saying I don't really know why Rafa is playing Wimbledon. It will probably be due to, firstly, the prestige. Like, you don't want to play if you don't really have a reason not to play. And it could be that he actually is really thinking about this calendar slam. These players will always downplay it, right? They will say no, because they're obviously going to ask Rafa in one of the press conferences about like the possibility of a calendar slam. And then I can already see him. Well, no. That was my attempted impression. I think he's going to downplay it completely and say, no, I'm not thinking about that. I'm just taking it match by match. But I think he is thinking about it, to be honest. Mike saying, I've never seen so many players withdraw from Wimbledon. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are not really withdrawals, but rather just not being allowed to play, right? And then also, there's a lot of injuries, but then also, yeah, I think if they decide, listen, I can't gain any ranking points here, so I'm not going to play, which I sort of understand if you're going to then use that time to play a different tournament where there is points to be gained, I guess. I don't know. Gene commenting that Rafa Novak head-to-head at Wimbledon is tied at 1-1. Rafa and Djokovic played just one match on the grass in that time frame, so a very small sample size. That's true. It is a very small sample size. Do you think KYRGIOS will make the second week of Wimbledon? It depends all on the draw, right? So now we know, as Carlton pointed out, he's not going to be seeded. So if he faces like a Djokovic figure in the second round, then my answer would be no. I think my answer is still no, in the sense that I think it's still more unlikely than what it is likely. He has the talent, obviously, but does he have that stamina and will and focus to win so many matches in a row, especially when it's best out of 5? And he's also playing doubles. So I'm going for, I don't think he will, but he can, but I also hope that he will. Like, I'm a big fan of him. So I'm hoping that he does, but if I had to now put money on it, I would say he's probably not going to do it. Dream Tennis saying, what about Chapo? Times 41 odds on Wimbledon. That's insane. I didn't know that. 41. And considering that, didn't he make like the semifinals? Was it last year? When did he, or was it the semifinals? He made the semifinals last year, right? I think so. And then he actually had a good match against Djokovic, right? Am I remembering correctly? So yeah, it's odd that it's 41. Like, I agree that he's like a loose cannon, like he can lose first round, but 41, I think that's a bit harsh. So yeah, it's maybe worth it to place like a little bit of money on it. All right, let's see what's going on here. Gary saying 3-year ban in Australia, which could be overturned. Okay, so it's sort of like it's a rule, but it can be overturned. And there is a new government in place. Oh yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's true, right? So it's now a different government. All that being said, I'm not optimistic for Nole. All right, we'll see. I guess it also depends on like how the situation with the pandemic looks by then, right? So I think it's quite difficult to assess at this stage. But yeah, it will be very unfortunate if he is not able to play next year again. I think one thing we can be certain on is that he won't get, it's not like he will get vaccinated to play. I think I'm fairly certain that he won't get vaccinated, even if that means he can't play for the foreseeable future. I'm just saying, mark my words, for Tsitsipas or Zverev to win a slam, they need to face each other in that final. That will be interesting, because I think we'll get a very similar final to what we've seen between Zverev and Thiem. That was just so bad quality, right? It was like neither of them wanted to win. It was just error. Oh, this person has an opportunity, throws it away. Oh, this person has an opportunity, throw it away. And I think that final would be similar. So yeah, I think that's a funny observation there. Sakkari is 26. Okay, so it's not like she's as young as Felix. So then it is a bit more worrying that it's not like Felix, where you can argue that he's still young, don't worry about it, it's going to fix itself. Sakkari is now like reaching years where you could consider that it's not like an up-and-coming player, let's put it that way. Especially against, like, if you compare the average age of the WTA, very, very young, these champions that are coming up these days. Noel is his worst enemy. He has realized that to come to peace and hopefully prevail. Okay, yeah, so I'm not going to go into the vaccine debate. Can Wembley just skip to the Nadal-Djokovic final? That would be great to see. But I mean, no, because even if the matches are like predictable, I think it's still a lot of fun to watch, you know, like the Wimbledon journey. And it's not just about who wins it, right? You don't just watch the tournament because you want to see wins. It's also like to see like these stories and people that are progressing despite the odds. They get to like the third round match, you know, your Mark Willis story, if you will. Or if you see like Andy Murray and he's like first round against, let's say, let's say like a Berrettini or something. I mean, that's an interesting match to watch. And I mean, those stories form part of the bigger book that is written about Wimbledon. It's not just about who won. That journey is also like just interesting to follow still. Does Novak end his career at 20? No, definitely not. Carlos can be the stopper for any additional titles. Yeah, so I saw actually, now that you mentioned it, I said for no very quickly, but Gil Gross made a comment, and I idolize that guy. He made a comment that we thought initially that Novak wasn't going to panic about Rafa being ahead or not being ahead, because he'll still have a lot of opportunities, and Novak will feel that he still has a lot of years ahead of him, unlike Rafa, who maybe doesn't have as that long. Like, I feel like Novak can easily play 5 years longer than Rafa, so he will have time to catch up. And also at the Olympics, he was like, I'll see you guys next time. He didn't even hesitate, like whether he's going to be at the next Olympics or not. But Gil Gross mentioned that Alcaraz can become a problem in the next, probably not this calendar year, but next year. Alcaraz can be a big problem to Djokovic. So if Djokovic doesn't win Wimbledon and is not allowed to play the US Open and he's stuck on 20 and Alcaraz becomes a beast next year, it could become interesting. It could become interesting. So yeah, I retreat my quick answer of no, it's possible. If I had to put money on it, though, I'm still going to say I think Novak will surpass 22. I do think so. I want drink, salute, cheers. Well, where's the camera? Cheers. It's non-alcoholic, but cheers. All right. Gene saying Chapo has lost these last 5 matches. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Did you also see the comments he made about like the women players not being allowed to practice in Queen's Club? He made a comment about that on social media. And then other people commented and said because he was making a claim that it's sexist that the women may not practice at Queen's. And then some of the responses were, no, it's not because they are women. It's just a case of only members may play at Queen's, or people that are currently playing that tournament. And Queens is a tournament for the ATP. So that's why they can't play. And I think it was a case of his girlfriend not being allowed to play there, but I can be wrong. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was interesting to note. Casey, no way Chapeau is winning Wimbledon. Gene saying Team vs Zverev might have been the worst slam final in the last decade, but I'm a bit too harsh. No, I don't think you're too harsh. I think that was the worst. No, definitely. It's the worst final I've seen. Let's put it that way. It's definitely the worst tennis final I have ever seen. It was just in terms of quality. Like, I guess you had worse in terms of lack of tension. You could say that they were worse because at least there was tension. But in terms of quality, it was by far the worst tennis final I've ever seen. And I'll include non-Grand Slams in there as well. Mike saying Zverev and Tsitsipas are overrated. Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that statement. 12-21 on Gene's statement that it's the worst final. It's up there. Chilik Nishikori at US Open 2014, it was poor too. I agree. That was also a poor final. But I sort of forgive that one because of how well Chilik played against Roger in the semifinal. That was just insane. I've never seen Chilik play that well. It was just, he just destroyed Federer. And it's not like Federer played poorly at all. So given how well Chilik played in the semifinal, I sort of would say that the Chilik Nishikori final could be forgiven because of how exciting the semifinals was. But maybe it's not fair to bring in previous matches in assessing that final itself. Yeah. All right, let's see. Shanzing, I don't even watch tennis. I just look at the stats. Yeah, there are a lot of interesting stats in tennis. I mean, it's such an interesting scoring system, right? In no other sport, like when you are ahead in football, you can just play it out the time. But in tennis, each point, you have to win each point. And it's also so interesting how the score resets after each game, firstly. So it doesn't matter whether you got that game to love or deuce at win. It's the same. It counts the same. And winning a set in a 7-6 tiebreak is the same as winning a set 6 love. So it's just interesting always how it resets throughout a match. Harry saying, if you want to have a good laugh, close your eyes and think 2008 Wimbledon final, then the 2020 US Open final. Yeah, it's just insane. And I think there not being a crowd made it even worse to watch. Yeah. Casey, totally agree, Arman. Very excited to see the round 1 Wimbledon matchups. Yeah, so like it's about the whole story about Wimbledon and not just like who wins it. Dream tennis, but that was before COVID-2. Now no can play only 2 Grand Slams. Yeah. If Nadal's body holds up, I think he has a big chance to win Wimbledon. I think it depends a lot on the draw. If he faces like big serving players in the first week on fresh grass, I think that could be a problem. If let's say he faces Nick Kyrgios in the second round. Like, I know he beat Kyrgios, like, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I can't remember. But that was like in the 4th round, right? I think so. So I think the earlier he faces someone like a Kyrgios, the more dangerous, because fresher grass means more upset prone, quicker slides more, and that is then worse for Nadal. But yeah, if Nadal holds up, the talent he has, he can win any Grand Slam. You predict Joko will surpass 22, but the question is, will Rafa surpass 20? That's a very, very, very good point that you're making there, 12-21. That's true. I'm saying that Djokovic can get 22, but it's not to say that Rafa is going to stop at 22. It's not. And obviously, Roger is going to get to like 28. So, yeah. MJ, it's like with Serena, she was very discontent with Naomi and wondered if she could retire because she was winning so easily. I don't understand that message clearly. Can you adjust Gary? But team had to race to Dimino, FAA, Medvedev, and then Zverev. So he definitely deserved it. And the final went to 5 sets, so it was a good match. I wanted Djokovic to win. Well, yeah, I guess I'm glad that the team now at least has one Grand Slam to his name. I think we all thought that he would one day he would get a Roland Garros. So I almost feel like with the performances he's put up in Roland Garros throughout the years, he deserves a Grand Slam, looking at his career. So now you could say that he deserves a Grand Slam, so therefore he deserved that one. And as he stated, he also faced quality opponents throughout the tournament, at least, even if the final was very poor. Casey, right, but why does Queens only have a men's tournament? I think it's because the facilities are not big enough to host a tournament where both the WTA and the ATP can play. I think that's also the reason why we don't have Masters 1000s on grass. Is with grass, or with any tournament, if it's both WTA and ATP playing in the same tournament, you need a lot of courts. And Queens doesn't have enough courts to facilitate that at the same time. And also, it's not like they can have it back to back because the grass is going to be completely destroyed by the second tournament, right? Grass deteriorates, unlike clay or hard court. So I think that's the reason for that. Gary, I know you love Nole, but just assuming you will play 5 more years is a big stretch. I love Nole, but assuming you'll play 5 is a big stretch. You're not injured until you are injured. I pray every day for his ongoing health. Yeah, that's true, right? I mean, we always admired Federer for being so injury-free. And then suddenly since 2019, it's like injury. And also in 2016, also the big injury he had. So that's correct. But yeah, I think he will play 5 more years. And I think he will be a very high competitive player until the very end. I had trouble getting through the final after Nole was defaulted. But I agree, team. Oh, yes, against Carreno Busta. I remember watching that live. I was in total shock. I was like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe what I'm seeing. And I think my mother was sleeping already, so I had to keep quiet because it wasn't the living room. But I was just in total shock when that happened because it's like, it's the only way Novak could not win the tournament is getting defaulted like that. So yeah, I know like Carreno Busta won that first set, right? But I still think Novak would have gotten back in that match. Sorry. Do you think you can do a CYGS? Calendar year Grand Slam. Yes. That's the thing. Because Novak isn't there, and I've said it earlier that Novak will be his biggest obstacle in every Grand Slam. So I think that's the reason why. It's not to discredit him. And that's the thing. I know now, if Nadal is able to get the calendar Grand Slam, I can already see a lot of Novak fans saying, yeah, but asterisk because Novak wasn't playing, especially as Novak fans, we feel like Novak should have gotten it the previous year. So it will be unfortunate if Novak fans or people like disregard the achievement because of Novak not playing. It will still be a very incredible achievement. Gene saying 2019 4th round. Yeah, so that is when Kyrgios and Nadal played. And I think the earlier they play, the more likely it is for Kyrgios to win that match with fresh grass skidding on the surface, especially when you get it deep. Like we've seen Nadal's really struggle in Wimbledon in the early rounds when people are able to return deep, because then Nadal doesn't have time to wind up that big forehand of his, because as we see with Clay, the more time he has to wind up that forehand, and also not only to wind it up, but also to run around his backhand and hit that insane forehand for a winner. So on grass, you just don't have that much time to wind it up, as Gwen Stefani says in one of her matches. Gene, am I in dreamland? 28 slams for Roger. Yeah, that was a joke. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Yes, people are sleeping on Roger. Could you imagine Joko winning 3 Grand Slams in 2021? Rafa wins 3 Grand Slams, and then Roger shows up, shows them how it's done, and wins all 4. Also, I guess everybody's saying like, yeah, Roger is done. And I think realistically, that's probably the most probable outcome. But, and that's a very optimistic but, we don't know that. I mean, yes, he struggled with his comeback last year, but was he fully recovered? Or when he came back in playing Qatar and then playing like French Open and Wimbledon, was he still struggling with a niggling knee injury? In which case, you could argue that you never know. I mean, he has this insane talent, right? And on his day, you never know. So I guess we'll see like how he looks when he makes his comeback. Although I don't think we should assess it too early. Like you can't watch a Laver Cup match and now say, okay, given how he played today, he will either win another one or not, or it's possible or not. I don't think we can assess it this year already. So it's less likely than not, but you never know. You never know. I mean, would you have said in 2017 that he's going to win, in 2013, I mean, that he's going to win 2 Grand Slams in 2017? I don't think we said that. But I mean, realistically, the line has to be drawn somewhere, right? But it's just like with Federer, you have no frame of reference. You can't compare that to other sports people who struggled in their 40s because we're talking about Federer. It's something different. So you never know. Do I want a first son or first girl for Rafa? I don't care. And I mean, Rafa also stated like he's not going to talk about this in press conferences. He wants to keep his private life private, and he said that it's not going to affect his tennis. So yeah, I don't really care. I can understand if you're like a massive Rafa fan, then this is a big deal. But yeah, I don't. Not like I don't care. Like well done and all those things and best wishes, but like it doesn't faze me. Like, yeah, his personal life. MJ, what kind of question? Yeah, like I'm not gonna say I'm really hoping for a boy or something. It doesn't really. I'm not gonna lose some sleep over that tonight, to be honest. It didn't deserve to be defaulted. Yeah, that's another controversial topic for another day, I assume. Gene, can someone stick a needle in Djokovic so that he can play all the slams without getting into trouble with the government? Yeah, so I'm not going to get into vaccine related debates. The only person that beats a fit Novak is himself. Yeah, I've seen a lot of funny memes with the lineswoman, the face, and then they like edit her face in scenarios, so it's quite funny. I wish Roger Federer would do that. Never write him off, especially at Wimbledon. If Rafa wins Wimbledon, will his doctor also win a Nobel Peace Prize in medicine? Well, is it the same doctor that gave his injections? Is it the same doctor that gave him these new procedures? I mean, I guess we can't assume it's the same doctor. I'm jesting, but what a story it would be. Also, could you imagine the year is 2040 and Djokovic is in his Roland Garros final at the age of 53. Needs to win to get the Grand Slam record. But loses to Rafa's son. You never know. You never know. I mean, where is this going to end, right? Because they don't seem like stopping. And I think it's a mixture of them being just so great and also the next gen just being mentally weak. All right, Gary, I'll be the first to step out and congratulate Rafa if he wins the Grand Slam. You can only beat the players who show up. That's true. And a Grand Slam is legendary. They're all great players in their own right. That is correct. Oh, it's the last comment. We are running out of comments. King Adjust, it's not controversial. He didn't hit that woman hard. She acted like a child. All right, yeah. I don't know. You can... I mean, it's an interpretation of the rules, right? So whether she overreacted or not, I guess is. But I guess also like, it's not like it's about the is it about what could have happened, or is it about like what happened? Like they focus on negligence, hitting the ball backwards, right? So the question is, if it hit her and she was like, no, I'm fine, would they then not have defaulted him? In other words, is it based on like what effect it, like her interpretation of it, or is it not? I don't know. All right. Alice Fire, ongoing stream. Congratulations. Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. Nice effort. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, people see like the YouTube video afterwards and they're like, oh, wow, 3.5 hours. This must have been an insane match. And then the match is like less than half of the total video. Short obligatory comments, yeah, just to keep the comments from drying up. The happy one, Nadal or Nole Haman? Like, in terms of what? What's the best button? Well, I must like congratulate Ben on the new Novak button. I think is insane. Like the effort put in, because it's not just about the audio necessarily. It's also about the visuals and how he made like Rafa's face into Joker. I think that was very well done. So I think that's probably the button he has put in the most effort in terms of what buttons of music. I like them all. Like I like King KYRGIOS. I like Olga Rune, actually. It's a new button, but I like that one quite a lot. But I don't know all of them. I like Raducanu's button. Yeah. Mike, the next generation players are just not good enough. They're just waiting for the big three to retire. Yeah, and the irony is, I mean, that's been the case for now like 3 generations. Not generations, but you know what I mean. Like you first had your Tonga and Burditch and Ferrer generation, right? And then people are like, oh, shame, they were in this difficult period where they had to face the big 3. Then you have the next gen after that, which is your Nishikori, Raonic, Dimitrov, Goffin, and they had to face the big 3. And then now you have the next gen, which is your Zverev, your Tsitsipas. I could probably put Tim and Medvedev in there as well. Yeah, I know Medvedev has won, but I mean, still. So yeah, I mean, for how long is a generation gonna be lost because of the big 3? I mean, it can't keep going on forever, right? It's like I can't think Alcaraz would be like 28, still losing against the big 3. Yeah. All right, yeah, there are some comments about like doping allegations against Nadal, and I'm not gonna go in there. What's up with the next gen journey? The tournament. What's up with the next gen tournament? Who thought of that? So I must be honest, I have a problem of this next gen term that was coined by ATP, but because I think the only thing it does, it creates hype. And obviously that's what they want to do. And I think the reason might be is because they are scared of like what this would be in store for the sports when the big 3 is gone. Because everybody, sorry, my nose is itching quite heavily. I think they are scared because all the fans are like, usually they're either a Rafa or a Novak or a Roger fan. And they are scared that they would lose fans if the big 3 are gone. So they're trying to hype up these players by having this trademark next gen. And I think what it does, it creates overhype. And also for those players, I think it's bad for them because they think, oh, I'm very special. I'm going to put myself in there. And that's not good for their future career projections, because then they think they made it before they have. So I think that's bad. In terms of the tournament, the people that have won it have done well afterwards, like Sinner and who won before him? I can't remember now. Who won it the year before Sinner? I can't remember. But like everybody who wins it, at least they do become... Oh, Tsitsipas. No. Who won it before Sinner? I can't remember. Tell me in the chat if you know. But it seems like the people that win it, they usually do well afterwards. And now we see with Alcaraz as well. But still, I think it's still overhyped in the sense that they think they made it before they did. Can you just sing the college button and the new Joker? Yeah. The DJ, okay, yeah, Joker. That's a great button. So, by the way, who won? So, Nishta, I can tell you that HURKACZ won. He lost the first set. Second set went to HURKACZ. I can't remember what the score was. Well, I can actually bring up the scorecard quickly. Let's see. It was 2 tie breaks then at the end. So, HURKACZ won them this 7-6, but I'm assuming you're joking. Haman, I didn't think you could do it, but you've lasted me. No, Gary, where are you going? No, that's fine. But thank you very much for sticking out this long. I will stay until the very end, until there's no more comments left. But thank you for joining, Gary. I'll see you in a future stream again. Yeah, so HURKACZ won that match. MJ, happy one. I can't tell what he favors, though not to crack. Sorry, I can't follow that message. Dreamed Mises. The Eager song was good. Can they make it to a button? I actually haven't listened to it because I was in Hermanus and then when I saw they made this launch for the song. I haven't listened to it actually. Now that you mention it, I should go and check it out. All right. Yeah, Mike saying there've been so many next-gen players and they all failed. Yeah, I think so. Like, is it a bit harsh? I would say no, it's not harsh. They failed. And I think a lot of it has to do with mental failure. And I think it's because of the hype being placed on them so early on their careers. Sean saying, I think Alcaraz and Rune have the right level of confidence to be champions, unlike some other next-gen. Well, now, also what's a pity is most probably by the time they are in their prime, the big 3 will be gone. So then it's difficult to say, is it due to they being mentally more stable? Or is it just because the big 3 aren't there anymore? Difficult to say. But yeah, let's see whether they can perform while the big 3 is still there. James saying, I feel like team is done at the top level, unfortunately. Yeah, I unfortunately, I must agree with you there. I hope it's not the case. I really hope it's not the case, but I think, unfortunately, it's done. Yeah, next gen ruined kids tennis. Unfortunately, I do agree with that. Yeah, Nishta also saying, I hope not for team. It seems to be a struggle, but I feel like he could get back there. Let's hope so. Let's see what he does on the Challenger Tour. Alice Fire saying, now a lot of them have to play that format. Do you mean like the way the next gen scoring system works, that tournament? Yeah. Who's going to win the next gen this year? Interesting question. Who's eligible? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what age you have to be. Holger Rune, I assume, would be eligible, right? If so, then he surely must be firm favorite. Jamie asking, which slam will Alcaraz win first? That's a great question. Okay, so let's think about this. It's not going to be 2022. I don't think so. So then we get to 2023. And also you have to take into consideration the probability of Djokovic playing. It's a good question. So I don't think it's going to be French. You might think French is clay is his best surface. I don't know whether that's necessarily true. I don't know. And also with Nadal being there at the French, yeah, it's going to be difficult. So, and then with regards to whether it's Australian Open or US Open, I think it's a calendar thing. I think the US Open for this year, even though Djokovic is not going to be there, I think it's still a bit too soon. I might be wrong. So I'm edging for Australian Open next year. But Djokovic, yeah, and also Djokovic is maybe not going to be there. Yeah, difficult one. It's a good question. Tell me in the chat, what do you think? I'm thinking that beer is really alcoholic. It's not. I can prove it to you. Where's the camera? 0.0. There you can see 0.0 alcohol. Oh, Nisha saying awesome wasn't joking. Okay, yeah. So yeah, it was a 3-set match. LS5 saying US Open. Okay, so when you say Alcaraz best or the most probable is US Open, are you referring to 2022 then already, I assume? Dream Tennis saying they should abolish next gen tournament and replace it with with a lost gen tournament. Players with no Grand Slam can only play and make it a Grand Slam. I don't know. I'm behind Alcaraz to get his first soon. He seems to improve a bit after a defeat. So good progress to an outside non-expert. Yeah. I like he really has impressed me. This year, like I had projected him to become like 10th at the end of last year, which I thought was a bold prediction. And now it seems like he should easily reach top 5 by the end of the year. And also like mentally, right? He doesn't seem like the type of person that would choke, which is usually what happens with the next gen when they try to face the top players in a Grand Slam. I like the rougher button with Nadal's face. Right, Nishta. Yes, I'm all for the newbies to improve their tennis while the big 3 is there. Yeah, that's the thing. You want to see these matchups. And what's very exciting for me is that we're probably going to see not probably going to see, but Alcaraz is confirmed for the Basel Open and Federer as well. So we could see an Alcaraz-Federer matchup, which would be very exciting because of the big age gap. So that would be quite exciting to see. We are still 48 people online. Well done, everybody, for sticking around. I think I deserve a like. Come on, give me a like there below. Thank you very much. I feel like I've put in my work for a like. And I'll give you a cheers for staying up this far. Thank you very much. Let's see. What round does Carlos reach at the Wimbledon this year? That's so difficult to predict because we don't know anything about his grass court performance. And we also don't know the draw yet, right? So that's very, very, very difficult to assess. I think let's get back to that question when we have the draw available. The big 3 just pushed each other to a level that no one can obtain. Yeah, I think that's true. Like if it wasn't a big 3, but only like one of them, then they would not have been that good with the absence of the other 2 because they push each other to become even better and better. Okay, so Jamie's saying, I think Carlos could win a US Open this year. It's definitely not a crazy statement to make, especially if Novak is not going to be able to play, if he's not allowed to enter the country. And also, I mean, it's still quite a while. So Carlos Alcaraz, I mean, we've seen how insanely he has improved since January up until now. So there's no reason why it would not be possible for him just keeping up that trajectory and becoming a monstrous beast like Anakin Skywalker types of projections. Okay, King is just saying 2 or 3rd round. Yeah, US Open 2022. Alcaraz have good chances. All right. King just doesn't seem to agree with that projection. But Nishta says, yeah, could happen. MJ saying Carlitos to make it to the quarters of Wimbledon. All right. Imagine if KYRGIOS ever wins a slam. He'd be unbearable. Yeah. Because we know how cocky he is about the fact that he has a positive head-to-head against Djokovic, right? But yeah, I think that's a big ask. Grand Slam. Yeah, Mike saying, I don't think there's any danger of that happening. All right, it's only afternoon here. Cheers. Yeah, for me, it's now 8:15. I just need to make sure I move my knee enough, as I had a knee operation last week, but I'm still good. If KYRGIOS could get over his stated boredom for matches over 2 hours, he could do it. You think he will go for it soon? I don't see it happening. That's the thing, right? I mean, if he won today, then I would have said, yeah, definitely. He's definitely a good prospect for Wimbledon. And now he lost, and now we're suddenly like, you see, you can't. And that's a bit harsh, maybe, because it was 2 tiebreaks he lost today. So maybe he still has a big chance to do something in this Wimbledon. I think this is his last big chance, to be honest. If it's not this Wimbledon, then it's not going to happen. If tennis becomes 7 sets, all right, is this the stage we are getting at in this as we reach 4 hours? We're now getting into 7-set matches. Next, we're going to talk about like how would it be if we have a glass surface? Who would be good on glass? All right, let's see. If tennis becomes 7 sets, still the 3 GOATs will win, which might be that Rafa, Nole, Roger have the top 3 tennis stamina of all time. So what I can say is that if the more sets, the less upset prone a match would be. That's true, right? That's why you see Kyrgios and Zverev beating a big 3 member often in a best of 3 match, but not in a best of 5. Because in a best of 5, the better player is more likely to win because you can fix mistakes that you made in the start of the match. So 7 sets, especially like Rafa and Nole, they would just be beasts in a match like that. Roger, I think, probably has less stamina than the other 2, but I still think, we'd probably win those sets. But I don't think it will be very fun to watch, to be honest, especially if all the matches are 7 sets starting first round, because I feel already as is that best of 5 is too much for the first few rounds. It's so boring when you know, like, okay, they won the first set, they win the second set, then they were the first set of the third set. So imagine if it's 7 and they have to win like 4 sets in the first 3 rounds easily. Like, you get bored here by the third set when it's so like predictable how the match is going to go. Hopefully Alcaraz spend the weeks off bulking up. Yeah, I hope he's also physically, mentally psyched up for Wimbledon, as we haven't seen him now in a while. If tennis became 7 sets, Liam could cover it. Funny, but I take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. All right, yeah. I'm just saying you have me laughing at the comments, and then it's even funnier. Right, good point. Less variance for more sets, less upsets. Yeah, I think so. All right, we are dropping below 40 numbers. I think I'm going to call it a day. I see there are no chats remaining in the chat at this point, so I think we're going to call it a day. I'm going to say thank you very much for everybody that joined me and stayed up with me for so long. It was really fun, and maybe we can do that again. Let's try to go for a record next time, see how long can we keep it up. But I had a lot of fun. I hope that you had as well. Thank you for joining me here today. As I said, we probably will be covering the final. I can't think that we won't. So we probably will be covering the final tomorrow. I don't know whether it would be me or not, but I would be following it anyway in the chat. So you won't see me in the chat because I don't have a Google account, so I can't comment in the chat, but I am there in my spirit, following the GTL, follow along if it's not me commentating. So, but I definitely will see you sometime again in the future. So thank you very much. I really enjoyed this. And I just want to give you a chance to say goodbye before I say goodbye, because I always see goodbyes after I logged out. And then I'm like, I want to say goodbye as well again. So goodbye, King Adjust. Goodbye, MJ. Goodbye, Dream Tennis. Good chat. Thanks. Don't forget to watch. I'm definitely going to check out the Eagle song now as well. I can't wait to see that. All right, and that's it. It's so sad to say goodbye because it's been so long. This journey together, if you will. All right, so I'm going to say goodbye now. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Well done for staying up this long. I will see you again, fellow Game to Love family. Cheers.